Hello, everyone. We're here again, and it's episode 35. Blimey heck. And here he is, the one and only
What, the man
Delboy.
himself,
He's here
Eddie
again
Hill.
with me, putting up with me all this time. Bloody hell. Anyhow, he's here. So, welcome.
I'm like a bad penny.
You know.
I tell you now, I'll open up bazaars, I'll open up fates, anything. Just bring it on.
well, thank you anyhow, as always, for coming on, and hopefully we'll have a good, enjoyable time on here, and I hope everybody else does.
Always with you, my friend. I'll have fun, so it doesn't matter.
Well, thank you very much. That's great.
Bugger that Muckman.
Everybody's waiting for Delboy rant. So
yeah, bugger that Muckman movies. He can sub off.
Yeah, Delboy rant. Right. Okay. So as normally, I always ask this question, and I say, "What have you been watching this week?"
I'll tell you what, I've been watching more TV stuff than I have films, believe it or not, because I haven't had a lot of time because I've been looking after my mum and I've been getting myself ready to go back to work and a number of things like that in the background, you know, where time has been a little bit of a problem. So I've been watching lots of things like Frasier and Twilight Zone and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, there's some stuff that's come this. I can't remember what I showed last week, you see. And I haven't got a clue. I have no idea whether people watch my blog or not. So there's gaps between what I showed you last week and what I'm showing this week. You see what I mean? And they were because those are the ones that I showed in my own blog, if you see what I mean. But let's have a little look. This is what's turned up. Look, Critters turned up.
Oh, Critters! All right. Never seen it. Yeah, never seen Critters.
I think I bought this because I believe I watched the first one and thought that one was all right.
Yeah.
I thought, I'll buy the other three. You know, because I'm not quite sure.
Yeah.
Let's see what else. There's another Shaun of the Dead. This one's the first one I think I've got.
That's nice. I like that. Yeah.
I think this is the first one I've got in 4K as a steelbook. I think it's 4K. I think it's a 4K. Yes, it is a 4K. Yeah. So Shaun of the Dead, not too bad a cover.
No.
One that I haven't seen yet. Black Phone.
Oh yeah, I've got that. Last year I got it. It's quite late then as a steelbook.
Yeah.
I think it was just a Blu-ray release, wasn't it, last year?
Yeah,
but I've got that.
So I heard good things and I ordered it.
Good.
And then it turned up, and I still have no idea.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. What else? Oh, another copy of Leon. I don't know how many copies of Leon I got, but there's another steel book of Leon.
Oh, crikey!
I've got the huge version of Leon. I bought a year or so ago, but this one I thought the cover looked nice. And it's got some nice. I don't know if it can be caught up, but the glasses have got a silver and glossy type effect, which I thought looked really nice.
Is it under that new title? They added something to the title. It used to be Leon.
It used to be called The Professional.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
But it's only called The Professional over in our side. It's always been called Leon in France.
Yeah.
All of that sort of stuff. Just to answer two things for Muckman, just before I go any further, I haven't got round to watching Seven Samurai because, as I just said, I haven't had much time because my mother's been a little bit not well. And I've only ever had chance to really watch TV stuff because of her sickness, as well as the fact that I'm gearing up to going back to work. And I couldn't find a PG version of Flesh Gordon for me to do a background on. I didn't know quite what you think of it if I did that. So that's the reason. That's just getting those two out of the way because I don't want Muckman to think that I'm ignoring him and having to wait 12 o'clock at midnight before he can hear a reply. Kung Fu Hustle was just cheap. I don't go for kung fu movies, but Kung Fu Hustle was cheap.
Right.
But I paid homage to Muckman in my blog because I'm pretty sure he mentioned in our chats about Jet Li's The One.
Yeah.
I ordered that as a steel book based on what he said, although I had seen The One anyway.
All right. Okay.
And then, of course, the one that turned up today was Galaxy Quest.
Yeah, great film.
Which is why I had a background picture of Galaxy Quest.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to watching that when I've got the time.
Did they ever talk of a sequel to Galaxy Quest, or did that just disappear?
They were going to, but then obviously Rick died, didn't he?
Oh yes,
Alan Rickman.
Yeah, he did.
They always wanted to. It was down to the fact that it didn't do well at the cinema, but it did well on video and DVD. It's got one of them cult followings. Then it really made a lot of money on Blu-ray. And then everybody's been screaming for a 4K, and then the 4K has now officially come out. There's been documentaries on Galaxy Quest left, right, you know, about all the stuff that was cut out and all that sort of stuff. And like I said, I've never understood why it never got a sequel, because it was based on really the Next Generation and Star Trek, basically. You know, the normal Star Trek and Next Generation. In the fact the Galaxy Quest crew looked like Next Generation, and Star Trek is basically based on William Shatner's rant at a convention that he famously did, where he said it's just a TV show.
That's right. He did. Get
out of your get out of your basement.
Get a life.
Get a girlfriend. Whatever. Which he famously did on Saturday Night Live as well. So it was made for that film to be made. Do you know what I mean? I believe there's lots of little stories behind the scenes, in regards to, I forgot his name now, Tim Allen. Not getting on with people on the set, when actually, he didn't get on well with Alan Rickman. Apparently, it's just their different acting styles. One's a method actor, one's an one is a person that does things on the fly, which is like Tim Allen, and that's because one's a comedian and one's a Shakespearean actor. Of course, one's a method actor and the other one does things as they occur. If a joke presents itself to you, then you're going to do it instantly there. That's going to piss off somebody that wants to just read the lines out, But apparently there's a lot of other stuff on there, like Sigourney Weaver famously took the bra that she wore in that film home with her, because it was a push-up bra and it made her look like she got more breasts than she actually had, and that's because she was supposed to look like a dumb blonde with big tits. All sorts. I mean, the documentaries on Galaxy Quest alone is just hilarious. So I do apologize that there's quite a bit there that I've shown. I mean, I know that Critters is not going to be for everybody. It's just I bought that because I like the first one. I have to keep saying that. I bought it because I like the first one. I have no idea what the others are like. I'm pretty sure it's going to be like Leprechaun. If anybody's ever seen Leprechaun,
I know people have said how bad that is.
It's a piece of shit. So I'm pretty sure that the others are going to go down and down and down. You go along, but it doesn't bother me because it's just nice to have a collection of stuff. And I remember the first one and liking it. So shoot me down for buying one, or shoot me down for buying four and hoping that the other three are better. I'd rather buy something that's going to surprise me, or at least I've got it in my collection, and no harm, no foul. You know what I mean?
I mean, some films, it doesn't matter if they're part of a series and they're not as good. You can still enjoy them. I mean, is it Species? That's a one that The first one people really enjoy,
Yeah,
but they
yeah.
made other ones which might not be quite. I mean, they're not probably brilliant, but they're enjoyable just to watch.
Just talking Species for a moment.
Yeah,
I must admit, I bought Species on Laserdisc.
yeah,
The second one I thought was all right.
yeah.
Wasn't particularly great. I thought it's a bit of a lackluster story. They could have gone anywhere with it, but it was pretty poor. The third one was hyper shit. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's where three people come down from space or something. They've been up there, and one of them is the president's son or something.
Oh,
And
yeah.
already he's infested by an alien, and he's going around killing people and harvesting their bodies and all sorts of stuff. And I'm going, this is shit. I don't know. I don't know if there was a Species film. They turned up more to be. They turned it to be straight to video after the second.
Yeah. That's what happens.
They were only there for Patricia Henstridge's breasts.
That's right.
Yeah. She's well known that she'd get her breasts out for if somebody dropped a $5 on the floor or something.
Yeah.
So, and I don't mind that because she's a very beautiful young lady.
Yeah.
I wouldn't kick her out of my bed, but then again, I wouldn't kick out for a herd out of my bed, probably.
I knew what I wanted to mention to you.
Oh yeah.
Life Force, which is one of my all-time favorite films.
Oh, brilliant film.
I've got the American version on 4K, but it's now, I think, officially going to get a 4K release in this country, which I presume then it'll get a steelbook.
Possibly
release,
possibly. I've got the 4K as well.
Yeah,
Life Force.
I love it. Absolutely, my favorite film.
Is it Tobe Hooper? Can't remember. Is it Tobe Hooper?
Yeah, Tobe. Yes, it is. Yeah,
I'm just unsure whether they'll do a steel. But who brought it out? Was it Arrow?
No, I got it from America, which is the
Yeah, but what was the boutique label that brought it out on? 88 Films, is it? What is it?
I think I'm sure it's Scream Factory, actually.
Right. How often does Scream Factory bring out? How often does Scream Factory bring out steelbooks?
Yeah, they don't. I don't know. You see, I don't know. But there's going to be a release over here. Thing is, I can't even remember who's doing it. It could be Arrow. I don't know. But somebody is bringing a release out over here. One at boutiques. So hopefully, for you, we might get a steelbook. Be nice for you. Yeah.
Well, obviously, if it does, then I'd still buy it, and then I'd get rid of rid of my normal one. The thing I like is and I'll mention it again. I don't mind buying duplicates of something because I'm able to then give my stuff to friends.
Yeah,
so I usually turn around to Denny and say, Denny, look, I've just bought this. You've got a 4K TV. Do you want my old Blu-ray edition? And then if he likes it, then he can buy his own 4K and pass it on and all of that sort of stuff. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
I like doing that. I'd rather somebody get the benefit of me upgrading than me take them to Kex and get him 50 pence.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I like to give the gift of films, right?
Yeah.
I like to give the gift of films. It's like, and I've got a few people that are, that like my side of things because of games. And I go, and I have to turn around and I say, look, the difference between me liking games and me liking films is that no matter who you are, right, films covers more ground than games, right? And the reason for that is if you play games, you still went to the pictures.
Yeah.
If you went to the pictures, doesn't necessarily mean that you bought a console.
Yeah.
To play a game. So I've never found it a problem buying a film and then giving it to someone because as much as they'll turn around and say I'm not a film goer, I know that they watch films.
Yeah.
Because there's no way in this wide world that people haven't got a Netflix account now or a Disney account or one of them.
Yeah.
Right, where they can watch a film when they want to. Right. Okay. somebody's going to turn around and be obnoxious now and say, I haven't got Netflix, and I haven't got Disney. What I mean by that is you've got the ability to watch a film, and you bound sure you've watched films.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I look at it as it's a gift that you can't really go wrong with unless they've actually got it already.
That's right. Yeah. No,
even if they don't like it, it's like, well, I'll probably watch it. You know what I mean? So I know I throw jokes in, like, I wouldn't kick forward out of my boots. It's a joke, right? She's probably dead, actually. I don't know. So there's going to be all sorts of bloody comments coming out now. But all I'm saying is I like to have fun. I like to have I say things in extreme. I usually get things wrong with names and all sorts of stuff. I'm usually more right than wrong.
Yeah.
Is the only way I look at it, right? And as long as people know me and go, oh, Del means nothing by it, or I've taken no offense by what Del said, I don't care if I've got something wrong. I'm the person who looks an idiot if I say something wrong. So, it's only me. So, and I'm big enough and ugly enough to take it. So over to you, my friend. I'm bound. I tell you what, I bet you any money, and I'm just going to put this down.
Yeah.
I'll put a $5 bet with anybody on here, right? When you say what you've watched this week, you'd have already done a video on it. We'd have already have seen it, and you would have mentioned it on Pete's video on Saturday. Go on, prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. Over to you with what you watched.
You may be. I haven't done. If you looked at my channel at the moment, all you'll find is I've got on Thursday. I've got the X-Files review, which I only just did yesterday. I've been behind totally, so I haven't done. I'm behind. I've got more videos I've got to do. And even you see this week, you can't moan about the music because I've got no albums to show you. I haven't even done. I don't even know what I'm going to do.
No, but I'm upset by that. I look forward to that every week. Every week I turn around and say, oh, I pray he's going to do a music review and he's going to tell me what he's going to do.
But I haven't got one to do this week. Anyhow, right. I'll tell you what I want to just talk about. I haven't watched as much. It's not much at all I've watched.
This is the thing. I don't know what it is. I think it's because, with me, there's a lot going on in the background. So it's not like I haven't tried to watch something. It's
with me, it's just been all these problems but they're all sorted out now, anyhow, with heating and what have you. Anyhow, so I'll tell you what, a film that I have never watched before, and which a lot of people talk about, and I thought, I should. I was just looking on Prime, and then I thought, it's on there, so I'll watch it. And you know what the film is?
No,
Trains, planes, and automobiles. I've never seen that in my life, and a lot of people really love it. And I don't understand why. I loved it.
It's an amazing film. The difficulty that I've got with planes, trains, and automobiles is that I believe that the one that they broadcast, the one that you would have seen, is a better quality than the 4K release.
Yeah, I've heard about that.
Everybody is so sad.
Yeah.
When that came out, they were calling it like the worst bloody 4K or Blu-ray.
That's right.
Waxy faces, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Every time I've seen it on TV, and every time I've seen it on a Prime, let's say, or something, it's looked amazing. I've still got my steelbook sealed for the purpose of the fact that I can still watch it on TV whenever I want.
Yeah.
So no point.
That's what I thought. I thought, I saw it, and I thought I've never seen that film. And Prime is worth. I forget I've got Prime, and I don't really watch it. But then sometimes I think I ought to go on and see if there's films like that which I should have seen, and are on there. And that was on there, so I thought, I'll watch it. And I really enjoyed it. I thought it was
amazing film.
I think what made it a great film for me was that it was a comedy, but it it had a lot of depth to it. It was
Yeah. But this is the thing. This is the thing. What I was just trying to get across before we went into
I loved about it
on it is that the film is actually shy by an hour.
Yeah.
It's an hour and a half. It's just about an hour and 40 minutes long. They filmed nearly 3 hours.
That's right. Yeah.
They cut it down and cut it down and cut it down. And it's why things don't make sense in certain parts. There's a scene where they're being robbed in their own in their own hotel.
Yeah.
The bits that were cut out was the bits where they paid the delivery boy money, and he then came back and stole from them.
Yeah.
All of that was cut out.
All it shows is the credit card being stolen.
So what I was trying to say was it doesn't make sense really on where this guy comes from that was trying to rip them off. It was like, so there's a random bloke goes around and they just unfortunate that they got robbed. No, it was the pizza guy that robbed them. But you never saw the pizza delivery.
No.
Because it was cut out. That's just one thing. But when you buy the 4K release, the whole script, including all the scenes that were cut out, are on the disc.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
So you can actually read the script.
Yeah. But anyway, for me, it was it's a film I know people have talked about, and I've never seen it. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was,
and of course, I dare say you watched it because it was close to Thanksgiving, wasn't it?
Well, I suppose, that's it. It's just, I think, I could see why people really love that film. And I'll probably watch it again, and hopefully I might get it into my collection. But it just it shows. I've got this task. I say to myself, because there's loads of films I've not seen, and people, you haven't seen that, crikey. So I'm going through, and Prime's a good place where they have a lot of standard films on, and you think, oh, I should watch that. So I watched that. So that I have to say I haven't watched a lot, but I watched these continuing Asian films. I watched this Bittersweet Life. It's done by the same director last week, A Tale of Two Sisters. This is very much a crazy sort of crime action film. It's the sort of thing you can see where the John Wick's films were influenced by. They obviously watched a lot of these Asian films. The set pieces of all the action and all the shootouts, they're all sort of influenced by these, definitely. And this one as well, Hard Boiled, that's Hong Kong.
Oh, well, I've seen Hard Boiled.
That's Hong Kong one. And that is, I really enjoyed it. It's got its own stylized way, but it's really enjoyable. And then the other film I watched, which is one that Jamie had sent me as well. This one, we might surprise people that I've not seen this one. Again, it's one of those films. Oh, you haven't seen that, but I thought it was great because it had so much humor in it, and it was like an alternative Second World War, and I love that idea where you have like an alternative where things are a bit different from how they were, and the humor is so funny, the acting, and the whole plot is crazy. And I like the idea about the cinema, the fact that a film was centering on about German films and cinema, and which is typical of Tarantino, because he's like, in a way, he obviously loves cinema, and he's like doing a tribute to German cinema, which is fantastic. But I thought this was a great film. I'm surprised I've not seen it before. Everybody was great in the cast, and I said that the humor was amazing in it. And I say I love the fact that it was centered on this cinema. It's just great. So that really surprised me. But so again, it shows you all these films. There's loads of films to watch and see, and I'm really pleased I saw that.
Yeah, Inglourious Bastards. I think I've got that. I know I've seen Hard Boiled. Hard Boiled is from the 80s, 90s. I remember seeing
yeah.
I think that I was watching that when a lot of people were telling me to watch films like Jet Li's The One and all of that.
Sort of that's another one, isn't it? People
Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. So Hard Boiled was one of those ones that I think was quite more mainstream.
Yeah.
Of all the titles there that you could have mentioned, like that Bittersweet film, if you'd have named 3 films and put them in front of people, I bet you any money Hard Boiled would have been picked up.
Yeah.
As a more likely to have been watched.
Yeah.
If you see what I mean.
Because in a way, I'm following on from when I watched The Eye. You remember that one? The Eye I talked about, and it's that kind of cinema, South Korean or Asian, Hong Kong cinema.
Oh yeah, but I didn't even think about films as being South Korean or anything. It was more to do with a watch this film. Do you know what I mean? I think Hard Boiled was actually in the mainstream films to rent and blockbusters.
Yeah.
And the other ones would have been in the Japanese section or the Korean section. It wouldn't have actually been. It wouldn't have been up there with Back to the Future and all the others. Do you see what I mean?
Oh, no.
Hard Boiled would have been more in something to watch for the mainstream. You know what I mean? So.
But you can see all these directors have obviously watched all these films and think, oh, we've got to do a bit of that style, and that's what they did. I mean, John Wick is all that, isn't it? But I said Tarantino. I thought this, I rate this one really highly amongst Tarantino films. I just thought it just caught everything, that humor as well, and something about this film I really thought it was good. Because I've always with Tarantino looked at Pulp Fiction as the film, really. I've Reservoir Dogs is great. I love Reservoir Dogs. And of course Jackie Brown. Well, Jackie Brown is fantastic. Perhaps that's been my favorite one, Jackie Brown.
And yet, Jackie. Just so you know, Jackie Brown is the one I've never got to the end to watch yet. I get halfway through, and I can't get through to the end of watching that. I'm not a big black exploitation.
I love Pam Grier. Maybe that helps a lot. She's good on the eye, but she's also. I've enjoyed all the performances in the film, and I think. I don't know. I just really enjoyed that film, but I can understand.
I will get round to watching it again. It's just I've put it on. I really want to like this. I get halfway through, something turns up that stops me from watching it.
Yeah.
Or the first time I watched it, I just didn't get on with it. I went,
I'm guilty of a lot of those films.
The second time, I was really getting into it, and I got stopped. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, and then ever since then, I've just never got to the end.
Oh, well, maybe a time will come. Yeah. Hopefully. But this one I liked it because the humor in it. I thought the humor was really good. It was so much humor, fantastic, and the idea of the cinema, of course, setting of the cinema.
Yeah.
But so I think that's it, really. I think that's
bloody hell.
I've watched, and we better start to go through the.
You're telling me that it only took us 10 minutes to get through what normally takes 40 minutes of what you've been watching.
Nearly out 29. It says live here, 29 minutes, 26. So we've done quite well this week.
Just that it only took you 10 minutes to tell us what you watched.
Well, I haven't watched as much. It just shows you I haven't watched as much. And no music. You say saved. No music.
I mentioned that I saw Gladiators 2.
That's right, you did, yeah.
The cinema in my blog.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't want to give. I don't like to give too much things
Yeah.
away. I came away thinking it was a okayish film.
Yeah.
The thing I was concerned with was that it would blemish what I thought was what Gladiator was.
Yeah.
I always thought that Gladiator is well received, but there's so many videos that I've watched on YouTube this week saying I never really thought much of Gladiator, and I'm going, hey,
Really?
I
Oh.
thought most people turned around and thought that was a brilliant film.
Yeah.
I will say this, and I thought it was a good point, and that is that when Gladiator came out, the special effects were something special.
Yeah.
But there's 24 years of Hollywood trying to outdo themselves with graphics and special effects that it's now the mainstream now.
Yeah.
So you're never going to get that wow factor that you got with the original Gladiator.
No.
With this one.
Yeah.
Because how are you going to add 24 years of wow to a version, right? It's going to almost look like it did 24 years ago. Unless you're really going to come up with some new special technique that James Cameron has been working on for the last 10 years or something.
Yeah.
It isn't going to happen. But everybody should be looking at the story and the performances in that.
Yeah, and do you reckon that the story was good?
That's what I said. The story they got away with, and I think they got away with some of the performances as well. Not every performance was brilliant.
Yeah.
But for the majority, you know, it works. You know what I mean? It's you know, I don't want to. I want people to go and see it themselves without me giving too much of away. But I said it's a 75% film. I don't want to say it's a glass half full or a glass half empty or it's 100%. I thought if I say 75%, I think that's what I would probably be giving it if I marked it out of 100.
Could you watch it if you'd not seen the first one?
Yeah.
Oh, so that's good.
There's obvious nods.
Yeah.
Russell Crowe is obviously mentioned in the film.
Yeah.
Referenced. But you know, you didn't have to. I think this is the thing that I want people. I think people understand it anyway. Stan Lee famously said in his comics he had to write a comic, and this really infuriated him, as if it was the first time you've ever picked up the comic. Right?
Yeah.
So it's terrible, but you would then have to backtrack on yourself all the time to say what happened last week, what happened last month, what happened 2 issues ago, whatever. Because the people that are constantly buying it every month, they're pissed off. But but what you have to remember is somebody could be picking that up for the first time and you'd be totally lost. I haven't got a clue what's going on, and then they'll never buy another book or comic again because you hadn't got a clue what was going on. So you have to write in a kind of way that as if you've never heard of it. So it'd be stupid for Hollywood to direct a film that you'd have to watch the first one.
Yeah, it would.
What's going on? You know what I mean? So
unless it's a direct sequel that starts where the other film ended, that's the only way you can do that.
Take it like this, and I have done this. If you picked up Back to the Future 3, would you be lost? You'd never seen Back to the Future 1 or 2. Would you be lost? No. You're right. You wouldn't. Time traveling car. It's stuck
straight into it.
Stuck in a ravine. Flux capacitor. It has to go. It's constantly mentioned. It has to go up to, whatever miles an hour, etc., etc., etc. And that's because the writing had to be made to say as if you'd never watched the first 2 films. It's just, are you a good enough writer to hide that fact? And not have to keep mentioning it. Do you know what I mean? And that's why that's such a good film, because it doesn't seem Like they've
No.
gone over the top with having to keep telling what's gone on, and this book was picked up in the last film, and this was, whatever, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like that amount, the book that was picked up in 2000, the Sports Almanac. That's it.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
You knew that he picked it up. You knew that time had changed. You didn't need to. It was mentioned early on.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? So, like I say, it's how good a writer you are to cover that track.
Yeah. It is. Yeah.
So, Gladiator has that. You don't need to watch the first one, but you have to give some fan service, and there is and there's definitely fan service in it.
Of course.
I mean, you said you've seen Alien Romulus, didn't you?
No, I haven't seen Alien Romulus.
Oh, I thought you said you'd seen Alien Romulus.
It's funny. I've downloaded it.
You downloaded it,
but I haven't watched it yet.
So what I was going to get at was, can you watch Alien Romulus without watching Alien?
I bet you can. I don't know. From what I've heard, you probably could.
You can. Can you watch Predator 2 without seeing Predator?
Yeah.
Of course you can.
Yeah.
And I think you'll find that most of Hollywood is written that way.
You could even probably watch Terminator films without seeing previous ones.
Of course you can.
Because it all becomes self-explanatory, doesn't it?
I mean, they're not exactly like rocket science. You need to have a degree in astrophysics to understand what's going on. Yeah,
exactly.
Really.
Yeah. Right. We'll better get on with it.
Can you see Coming to America 2 without seeing the first one? Yes, you can. Definitely.
Yeah. Right.
There's my background picture. Can you watch Galaxy Quest without watching Star Trek, The Next Generation, or anything like that?
I think you probably could, but it helps a lot if you do know.
But the jokes make more sense if you get into the in-joke.
Right. So we've got the first comment is Cy. Hi guys, I hope that you have a great stream. I'm off to St. James's Park to watch Newcastle get humiliated off Liverpool. Oh yeah, I think
that's because Liverpool are top, aren't they? Yeah.
No, I'm too busy with Championship to be noticing what's going on in there.
My team, Coventry, have just been taken over by Frank Lampard. So.
Have they? Oh, Frank Lampard. Oh, he's got a good record, hasn't he?
He's got a shit record.
That's what I mean. I'm being sarcastic there.
He got rid of a manager that's been there for 7.5 years. A bloke that,
and Danny says, "Hi, how are you? I'm good. Hello, Danny."
Hello.
And then we've got Jamie Muckman Movies. Evening all. Hello. You get the usual welcome.
Oh, sorry, I was supposed to do that. Sorry.
Hey, Luke, watch this. He's look at this. I'm watching Newcastle versus Liverpool on Prime. I'm a Liverpool fan. What? Sorry. You're playing well, to be fair. I'm saying no. I have to.
It's going to be all football scores tonight. Is that what
Oh, dear. Well. Ouch. I mistimed that comment. Got a goal by Isaac. Oh, great goal by Isaac. I presume he's a Newquay one, is he?
So I take it Newcastle just scored against Liverpool. Wow.
Steve Moles. Hi, Ian and Delboy. Just finished watching Friday the 13th or 5. The scene where Ethel gets killed and her face goes in the stew. Oh, that one. I bet that was the first batch she had in months. Laugh out loud. Oh, yeah, that's stew and Ethel. Oh, yeah, lovely.
I remember I bought the 4K of that this year, didn't I? And
it's stew. That's stew.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lovely.
I remember the stew scene, but only
Yeah.
just. It's one of those ones that I keep meaning to watch,
Yeah.
and I've watched it so many times back in the day that
Yeah.
when my 4K arrived, I went, "Oh well, I'm in no hurry because I know what that film."
Yeah.
And I haven't gone back to it yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great film, and I
Yeah.
need to look at it because I know that it's a great transfer as well. So I will.
Well, nobody said that about the first one, did they? The first Friday the 13th film. There were a lot of people criticizing that on 4K, weren't they? Saying it was too
maybe,
dark again.
maybe the things that I was watching was the remake of Friday the 13th. I think
Oh,
that remake,
I think you was. I don't know whether that's come out.
didn't that come out as well? No, because I think it's the one with
Yeah.
the ripped cover. It's got a sort of like a
Yeah,
line.
yeah. The remake one came out quite recently, didn't it?
But
Yeah.
what I'm trying to say is Friday the 13th also only came out this year, I think, as a 4K.
Yeah. But I remember people saying, I mean, I'm only just going on what people say on reviews, that it was dark, the Friday the 13th, the original one on 4K. But
it's a dark film anyway, though.
yeah, but I don't know what to think of all this business, you know. Anyhow, that's it. We've had that discussion.
I will say this one thing. I will say this one thing. Whenever somebody turns around and says the picture quality is dire, it quite possibly could be, but these people that do picture comparisons on YouTube, they annoy me to hell, because whenever they upload something to YouTube, they downgrade the picture, right? So how am I supposed to tell whether there's a difference between the two, right?
Of course.
You're not even looking at it on a 4K bloody telly to see what the left-hand picture is compared to the right. And if you're watching it on a phone, that's such a small screen, you might as well.
Yeah, it's not going to pop out at you, is it?
The one thing I will say about this as well is, there's one guy that reviews televisions, and he gave the biggest advice that you could ever get, and that is there are certain settings on your TV you need to turn off now.
Yeah,
turn them off right now, and that is things like sharpness. If you've got your sharpness anything other than at 0, then expect to get bad picture. Right? The reason for it is that the Blu-ray player or your 4K player is sending the signal to the telly at the optimal setting it's supposed to be at. If you put sharpness on, you're putting a sharpness over the top of something that doesn't need sharpness.
Yeah.
So you'll get grain.
Yeah.
So you need to drop it down to 0.
Yeah.
And then start altering brightness and contrast and all of this. Otherwise, you're doing what they call adding a sharpness layer to something that doesn't need one. And there's all sorts of other settings like color temperature, right? All these people that turn around and go, "Oh, honestly, the whites look like they had blue in them." And I'm going, yeah, because you've got color temperature on. You've probably got it set to cold or bloody warm, whatever it is, right? All of this stuff you don't need.
Yeah.
Your player is already sending it with the proper color grade. So why are you putting cold temperature on and warm temperatures? And shit like that? And if you go on YouTube, there'll always be somebody there that will turn around and say the 5 settings you need to turn off your telly right now. If all of us did that, then we could turn around and say whether a picture is shit or not. Right? Because if you've got sharpness on at 50% on a 4K player, then basically it's going to look grainy.
Yeah.
You know, it's not supposed to be there. So anyway, I just want to mention that because
you might have people now checking the tellies and see what's on there.
Yeah, it's people that turn the color up and all of this sort of stuff. You don't need any of that stuff with 4K. It's called HDR, high dynamic. You know, so you know it doesn't need saturation.
Anything extra. Yeah,
it's been color graded, so it's set the proper color grade to your telly without any faffing about with. That's the whole point.
Oh yeah. So Stephen says, "I bet her and her son in the film smelled like beaver piss and brute." Yeah,
Oh,
bro.
what,
Yeah,
what, a,
lovely.
what a thing! What a thought to have in your head. Beaver piss.
Bro, because that did stink, didn't it, bro?
Yeah, well, so does beaver piss, I should think.
Oh,
There's so many people that have said things like skunk's armpit breath, and I'm going,
yeah.
oh, Jesus Christ. Skunk is bad. Skunk's armpit must be bloody awful, and that's coming out of your breath, is it? Jesus, that's got to be the worst. That must be the worst halitosis I've ever,
And we've got Jamie saying, I've only seen the first Friday the 13th. Oh, well, you're in for a treat if you watch all the others. Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't say
it's a good set of films.
I wouldn't say hurry up and see it, but
yeah,
I will turn around and say that you'd get a good enjoyment out of watching them all in one go. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Jealousy gets you nowhere, Del.
I didn't. Did I look jealous?
I don't know.
I can't remember if I looked jealous or not. You're quite right.
Where's the Flash Gordon backdrop?
There's the Flash
Gordon. Asking every week, and he explained.
Couldn't find a PG version.
Yeah. And
all
Steve
says penis hands or bloody boobs ganging out. Or
Critters Attacks is awful. Those Critters films.
Oh, by the way, if he keeps mentioning it, right? Why didn't he mention it in his comments like I told him to last week? I said, do a reminder for me by putting it in your comment because I'll only forget. Where's my reminder?
Oh.
Just getting my own back. Really.
And Jamie says, I was a bit disappointed with Black Phone. Oh, all right.
I've never seen it, so I can't say.
Have you watched Here We Are, Seven Samurai yet, Del? And you mentioned that before, didn't you?
I felt really bad because I was going to watch it Thursday, but then something happened on Thursday. Not that I want to mention it, but something happened on Thursday.
He says, I just got that Leo Steele book too. It's nice. That's one that you mentioned. Leon.
It's got this sort of like gold, sort of like leaf around the glass and things. It looks really nice. He did mention to me that he was a bit disappointed with the Alien Romulus Steele book. He said he thought it looked a bit grainy.
Yeah.
I didn't notice that myself.
Oh.
I looked at mine after he mentioned it, and it doesn't look blurry or grainy on mine, but I think he might have the right opinion of it. I mean, it could well be that my eyesight's not the best.
Yeah.
But I looked at it and I couldn't find anything really wrong with it. But
compared
to others, I would definitely say it probably. I mean, I don't think it's the best Steel book in the world. Jesus, far from it. Christ. No. There's so many good Steel books out there. That one fits into the, oh my God, it's an also ran.
Yeah.
And it's better than long. It's better than Long Legs. Next.
All right. Stephen says, Muckman movies. I'm sorry to say, I own both Flash Gordon movies on Blu-ray. Funny as hell.
Yeah.
Oh, right. And then Muckman movies is laughing there. Yeah.
God, it's funny. It is funny. It really is.
And Muckman movies says, Kung Fu Hustle is great fun. I didn't mention the one now. In fact, I haven't seen it.
It might be Tony that mentioned it then. I know somebody did. Why would I have bought it if it weren't for that? Because I purposely looked for it. This is the thing where I thought he mentioned it, but I'm probably wrong. But Muckman gives me so much advice that I then amalgamate it into he probably told me. Do you know what I mean? It's like that. That's where I'm going. Hey, look, take the bloody compliment for God's sake, you miserable bastard. Hey.
Muckman movies. I'm waiting for Deep Throat and Debbie Does Dallas to arrive on 4K.
Do they do porn on 4K?
Porn films.
Do they do porn on 4K? I dare say they do. I don't know.
I bet they do have 4K versions of porn films.
Oh, I bet they do. I don't really
Yeah.
think about it, to be quite honest.
They're perhaps the most famous porn films that people know. Deep Throat and Debbie Does Dallas.
Yeah.
And laughing there. And then Tony says, "Evening, Ian and Del and Jamie." Yes, hello. And Jamie says, "Hello, Amazon have literally just delivered Nighthawks." Oh yeah, that was mentioned, didn't we?
I mean, I hope he doesn't get disappointed. I think that's I think that's a lovely film, a great film. Not, it's not. Many people want to call things hidden gem. It's not a hidden gem, but it's a film that most people might turn around and say, "I don't think I've seen it."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a Rutger Hauer and Sylvester Stallone film, and if you were to turn around and say, "Did you know that they made a film together?" A lot of people would turn around and go,
No,
I didn't know they made one together.
No.
Bloody hell! What, those two?
No.
But they did.
Yeah.
And it really was quite good. I loved
Yeah.
it. I have no problems recommending and then getting the flack. Somebody turns around and says, "No, that was shit," because I'll turn around and go, "Wow, I loved it. Thought it was great."
I bet nobody ever mentions that. If anybody says, "Oh, the films of Sylvester Stallone and Rutger Hauer," they wouldn't mention that film at all, would they? I doubt if people would mention it. Stephen says, "Have any of you seen Evolution starring David Duchovny? It also stars Michael Ray Bauer from the TV series Salute Your Shorts." I've never heard of Salute Your Shorts. Have you heard of that?
Have any of you seen Evolution?
I know that film. I've not seen it, but I know of it.
Yes, I've got it
on Steelbook.
I've got it on Blu-ray. Yeah, Steelbook. It's got a picture of a smiley face. It's got one of them smiley face with three eyes. I really like it. It's done by the people. It's done by the people that did Ghostbusters and that. You know, Ivan Reitman or whatever it was. I think it's produced by or direct. You know, can't quite remember which one it is.
It's probably one he did after he left X-Files on that first. Yeah, straight away. At least when he left first time.
But it's funny. It's great.
Yeah. And then Muckmamu says, "Hi, Tony." James says, "I have the DVD of Evolution somewhere, I think. Good fun, but nothing amazing."
I think it's a good film. I can watch that a lot of times.
Yeah.
If anybody wants the DVD edition of it, they can have it. I've got it on.
And Tony says, "Stephen, I've seen Evolution on TV." And Tony says, "I think it's Arrow releasing the 4K Life Force, Ian. I have the standard Blu-ray." So it is Arrow then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Arrow do quite a few Steelbooks, so it's probably right.
Stephen Mill says, "Muckman Movies. I have a German media book of Nighthawks and a 2-disc German Blu-ray." Oh, all right.
Yeah, I think you'll find it's very difficult to find a British.
Yeah.
It's mostly German, if I remember right.
Yeah.
I think my one's German. Not quite sure. I'd have to check.
Yeah. And Tony says, "As you mentioned Thora Hird, Del, a question. I watched a film last week starring Laurence Olivier featuring Thora Hird in a supporting role. Can either of you name the film?" No, I can't. But
hang on.
No, Delboy might do.
If I'm right, is it the one where Laurence Olivier won an Oscar? If it is, I'm not going to name the film, but I want to know whether I'm along the right lines.
Okay, we'll see. And Mugman says, "I concur with Del. I got joy out of Ian opening his box of goodies and getting a few quid from CEX. Oh, that's nice. Thank you. That's
Oh,
really nice. Yeah, that's really nice.
Has Muckman Movies done a Tony York, has he?
He sent something. Don't you? Hey, you haven't been paying attention to my channel, lad. Eh? Back. What's going on here?
So
A video.
another load of shit that ain't come my way. That's all I got to say.
Oh dear. Look. This is where he sent this, amongst a few other things. Yeah.
Bollocks to a lot of you.
Yeah. Some good stuff he said. Oh, and of course that this one, he said that.
By the way, it was my little joke because we had a chat before we came on. Of course, I watched your video where Muckman has sent you some stuff. I was having a little joke with you before.
Yeah,
so
I know.
I was trying to carry on that joke.
And then Tony says, Jamie, completely agree. It's an insult, the prices they give for the vast majority of DVDs. Understandable, I guess, due to them not being in demand. I think they hardly give anything for DVDs now, about 10p, if that.
This is the thing, though.
Yeah.
Are they not in demand? Because as far as I'm concerned, there's a lot of people out there that want to buy DVDs so that they can put their kids in front of the telly and get them to watch.
Yeah.
Them. Mothers have not got an awful lot of money, so they rely on buying stuff for 10 pence, 15 pence.
And DVDs are still the best-selling form of physical media. They outsell Blu-ray.
So what I'm trying to say is DVDs play in every medium going, but you can't put a 4K in a DVD player. Yeah. So what I'm trying to say is that format is still viable, which 4K isn't, if you look at it from that point of view. So the DVDs is the lowest platform, but not I wouldn't have said it was because there's no demand for them.
Yeah.
But I must admit, he's quite right, because if you go to a charity store, they're giving them away. They're chucking them in the bin and all sorts of stuff.
That's why charity stores are a good place to go, actually. You can find some proper bargains. And I'll tell something, certainly with DVDs, TV series, you get a lot of TV series that only have DVD release, and they're probably never going to get a Blu-ray release. And so it's always worth, if you see DVD of TV series, is worth getting, definitely. And cheap as well in a charity shop.
Yeah.
Stephen Moss, Ian, did you buy Southern Comfort yet? No, I haven't. Sorry. If not, Music Magpie are selling a DVD copy for just over £5. Or you can get the Blu-ray for $13.99 from HMV. I'll have a look into it, but I'll have a look. Yeah, I'll see. Maybe not. I think I get paid on 13th, so that'd be next week. So I'll have a look then. I'll try and remember to put that down and have a look, and I'll just get.
Yeah, that used to piss me off. The bank used to pay me a week before Christmas.
Yeah.
Right? Ever since I've worked for the government, they are stuck half at paying you on the last day of the month.
Oh, right.
And it pisses me off.
You have to wait. They don't put, even for you earlier for Christmas, they don't.
Well, it works both ways if you think about it. If I'm paid on the last day of the month, it means that if you were really on the breadline, you couldn't have a good New Year's Eve because you were waiting. You were waiting to be paid, and you were on shit for a week, right? But you're also in shit streak doing it the other way. If you're paid a week before Christmas, then you've got a 6-week wait before you get paid again, and that's January is a pig.
Yeah.
January always is a pig for me.
Everybody always complains, don't they, in January that they're broke in January because they've used all the credit card bills and all the money's gone out of the bank. So they're struggling, aren't they, in January?
Yeah, I'll tell you what though. I'll buy Southern Comfort for a fiver because I mean I don't mind Jack Daniels or
Oh yeah, yeah,
fiver. Yeah, I'll buy a bottle of Southern
yeah,
Comfort for a fiver.
yeah. I'll
Jesus.
try and so HMV is not bad. So I hope that sale lasts till end of month because I might go and have a look. I noticed they have got some interesting things on at HMV at the moment. I'll have to have a look.
I know they're doing
It's
2
got
for
good
15.
sale.
They're doing that 2 for 15 quid and 3
All
for
sorts of
30.
things, yeah.
I think they're even doing now a 4 for 40 quid on 4K, isn't it? They're doing 3 for
Really?
2 for 30 quid, 3
Yeah,
for 40 quid, I think it is.
yeah.
3 for 40 quid on
I'm
4K.
4K's gone up a little bit, haven't they? Price, I think.
Little
So
bit.
that's good value. That's pretty good to get them
Yeah,
on
3 for
sale.
40 quid means that you're looking at 12, 13 quid.
Yeah, which is good. That's good.
Bad.
Because some individual ones now are pretty expensive, aren't they, when they come out?
Yeah.
So let's have a look. Onibaba is on Prime at the moment. It's a Japanese masterpiece. Oh, I'll try and remember that.
Onibaba.
Onibaba. Not Alibaba. Onibaba.
I said Onibaba.
Yeah. No, I said Alibaba. And I was just thinking of Alibaba. I thought, oh, a Japanese version called Onibaba.
Good God. Man, Jesus. Japanese Alibaba.
Well, you didn't wait too long to watch Hard Boiled. No, I just I've not watched much, and I thought I better start watching some of these films pretty quick. So I did, and I
watched the follow up. Runny Yolk.
Yeah. Oh yeah, a running yolk. Yeah. Oh, dear. Oh dear. Anyhow, the opening scene of Inglourious Bastards is incredibly tense. Yeah, yes, it is. Yeah, it's great. The hospital scene in Hard Boiled is insane. Totally, it is insane. Especially, you have a hospital, and right below it, they've got a massive amount of arms cache of all explosives and everything in a hospital. Of course, that's the place that you would store it.
Yeah, it's where you put an attaché case of bloody cache of arms and stuff. Yeah.
Once all hell breaks loose, that hospital is just a battleground. It's ridiculous. Absolutely.
I store all my machine guns and grenades? Oh, I know, underneath the hospital. Yeah, that'll be.
And there's the scene with the babies. They're trying to get the babies out, and there's all these guns firing around. It's ridiculous. But enjoyable. I loved it. It's absolutely nuts, but I loved it. I believe you've watched. I saw The Devil too, and yeah, I love that. Well, I absolutely thought the Devil was fantastic. I just loved the idea of it. It was, that you had the serial killer revenge business, and it was mad. It was insane. Some of the scenes, and it's pretty gory as well as action packed. It was just absolutely wonderful. I thought it was great, absolutely great. And then we've got Through the Lens. Hey, my friends, how are you doing? Hello there. Hello,
Josh.
Yeah, Josh.
He's been doing. He's great because he's been doing some film reviews recently. I think he was on with you on Saturday, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was on with Pete Playtendo guy. Yeah. And so Smitherman, Pam Grier is a special talent. You said it. She is definitely.
Every time I hear the word Pam, and I keep thinking of the lady that was in Morecambe Mindy, but that's Pam Dorber.
Pam Grier. Yeah. Among my movies, The Killer is my favorite. the new version that John Woo has recently done of his old film is as good as well. It's released on Blu-ray next year, sometime in April. Oh, so
Yeah.
he's got a remake of his own.
As long as they don't do a remake of Face Off. I heard somebody say that the other week. They said Face Off is getting a remake. I went,
Oh,
no. That worked. That worked on so many levels, but really, I think they struck gold by getting John
yeah,
Travolta and Nicolas Cage.
yeah,
You know, they really
yeah,
did well. But I can't imagine them finding two other actors that would basically play that role really well,
yeah,
like they did the first time around.
yeah,
I think certain films ought to be one-offs.
yeah. I think I agree.
That's one
Yeah,
of them. You know,
it doesn't need any other
you
film.
really do need two actors that
Yeah,
gel well together to make that
yeah,
work.
yeah,
Really, and it's very difficult to pair two actors together and go, you
yeah.
get it.
And Mugman movies. Christopher Waltz is so sinister in Bastards. One of the best villains on the film. Yeah, he is. He is superb.
Is that Christopher or Christoph?
Christoph. Sorry, Christoph Waltz. Yeah, he's great. He's a real sod. But he's he was a policeman, and therefore he's solving all what's going on, and he soon knows exactly what's going on. Tony Oak says, "I have a fair few blaxploitations, short-lived early 70s boom. Yeah, I've got one or two with Pam Grier in, which is, I think I've got Kofi, and there's another one that she did about the same time, which is completely dreadful. Oh yeah, there's one where she's escaped prisoner as well.
I don't know. You're just a perv.
3 in my collection, but I can't remember the names. I'm hopeless.
You're just a perv. You're just a perv. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, but she's really. I like
you and your Pam Grier fixation.
Who wouldn't like Pam Grier? Yeah.
No?
Yeah, but you. I didn't like Woo's last film. The no dialogue theme didn't sit too well with me. Oh, so he's done one without any dialogue.
I've forgotten what film that is.
Yeah,
I like John Woo. I do like John Woo as a director. I think he's really good. I can't think of what that film is.
If there's no dialogue, that would be quite an interesting, way of telling the story. Very much so. But he said it didn't go well. It didn't seem to go down well with Jamie.
It's very hard to do a film with no dialogue.
Yeah, yeah. The Killer is great though, but Hard Boiled, that's the one, is my favorite Woo film. It's almost non-stop action from start to finish. That's true. It is amazing.
Hard Boiled is full of action, I have to say.
Yeah, I have a few Rudy Ray Moore black exploitation films. They're so bad, they're good. Yeah, I can imagine. Stephen Wells said a good documentary I watched recently, which is worth checking out. Of you, have you seen it? Smoke and Mirrors, the story of Tom Savini. I've not seen it, but I've heard it being mentioned now a bit more.
I've seen. Just recently, I've seen the documentary on Gene Wilder, something to do with his memoirs. Now he did Blazing Saddles and Young Frankenstein and all of that, and Willy Wonka and all of that and so forth. That was a good documentary. I saw the Christopher Reeve documentary.
Yeah.
I like documentaries. I keep turning around and saying, if you're into soundtracks, watch that Ennio documentary. That's the life of Ennio Morricone.
Yeah,
it's fantastic. It's all in Italian. The whole film's in Italian. Brilliant, though. So there's another good one then about Tom Savini.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Jamie says Eddie Murphy did a really good film telling the story of Rudy Ray Moore. Oh.
I was just saying, is that an oxymoron?
Oh.
Eddie Murphy's done a really good film, has he?
Yeah. And Tony says, mine are mainly Fred Williamson. Oh, Isaac Hayes, of course. And I nearly forgot. How could you forget? No, Pam Grier. Yes.
I mean,
Isaac Hayes.
I watched black exploitation films. Usually, it was the early 80s when I watched those. I mean, I even watched things like Blackula and all of that sort of stuff. You know,
so you're not the Shaft era then?
Yeah, well, no, I watched Shaft.
Yeah.
I mean, who hasn't seen Shaft?
Yeah.
What I'm trying to say is, after around about 1989, I don't think I really watched them.
No,
I
don't think. Well,
I can't name a film really much after 1989.
They probably went out of fashion anyhow. They probably weren't making as many, or it's a certain era in time. I probably stopped making them. And then Steve Moore says, Across 110th Street is one of my favourite black exploitation films.
Have you seen that one, Across 110th?
No, I've not seen this. This one. Here it is, yeah. I need to see. I've seen Foxy Brown. Yeah, I've got that one. And Cleopatra Jones. Yeah. Pam Grier. Fantastic.
Of course, there's no end of references to them in Kentucky Fried Movie.
Yeah. And then Steve Moore says, yeah, Kofi is a good film as well. Yeah.
Because I think Kofi. In Kentucky Fried Movie,
I've even got the soundtrack of that one.
There's a reference.
Now, that is unusual. I know. I'll just repeat that. I said it. I've even got the soundtrack to Kofi. It's brilliant. It's absolutely wonderful. What more can I say?
I was going to say,
bought the soundtrack.
In who did it then?
Just hold on. I can tell
you. Sure it's a sound? Are you sure it's a soundtrack, or is it just a music compilation disc with the name Coffee written on it? Anyway, Kentucky Fried Movie's got something called Cleopatra Schwartz in, which has got a black lady called Cleopatra in it, and Schwartz is a rabbi. That's funny. Cleopatra Schwartz.
I've got it. Yeah, it's Roy Ayers.
Roy Ayers.
Yeah, it is a proper soundtrack. Caused by Roy Ayers.
Right, so there isn't just normal like music all the way through it then.
Yeah, there's soundtrack music as well as songs on here.
What is the ratio of songs to soundtrack? Usually there's 10 or 15 tracks on these, so it shouldn't take you long.
Yeah, there is. I mean, you can tell by titles, like, you know, you've got here like Escape, you've got was at 2 minutes 14.
And it will have the person that scores it at the end of every single.
It says original motion picture soundtrack, music score composed and performed by Roy Ayers.
Right, so when you go down the track listing, it'll say Roy Ayers, Roy Ayers, Roy Ayers, Roy Ayers, and then there'll be one that'll be.
It's done the lot on here. Yeah.
Well, there you are then. So that's good.
It is a proper soundtrack. Yeah.
Yeah, I count that as a proper soundtrack when it's all Roy Ayers.
Anyhow, proper soundtrack.
Anyway, I told my Kentucky Fried Movie bit while you were off. Because it was called Cleopatra. It was called Cleopatra Schwartz.
Oh, right. Okay. Right. Next one. Tony, good film. I love the Shaft movies as well. Yeah, they're great. Foxy Brown is one of my few. Yeah, it is actually. That's a coincidence because It's one. I've got it on Steelbook, Foxy Brown as well, and I don't have many Steelbooks.
And I
It's a
haven't got
rarity.
it. And I
I
haven't got
think
it
I have
'cause I
Cleopatra Jones buried somewhere waiting to be watched. Yeah,
and I haven't got it because it's Foxy Brown. So,
yeah. But yeah, I've got it. A Steelbook, incredible. They're a rarity in my collection. Danny Duke says, I've been making songs using A1 to make the
AI.
music. AI, sorry, A1. Oh, sorry, that's more
Bloody,
road. Yeah,
bloody roads again.
AI, AI to make the music and do the singing with the words to my songs. All right, yeah.
I must admit, AI can be a wonder, but I'm not a fan of AI. I have to say.
I saw this thing where it was saying on YouTube, it was a YouTube thing, AI doing Patrick Troughton recreations, and it didn't look that good. It looked pretty bad.
Like I said, it all depends on how much
What
money
they've been doing.
It all depends on what. Yeah, but it all depends on what software and who and how much money is.
Yeah.
But AI, it's the use of AI that I have an objection to.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's for a conversation another time. But
Another time, yeah. But it's an interesting
AI. I'm not a fan of. Let's just say.
Yeah. And how come that we still know it's AI? We do. You still know it's AI.
Well, no, there's a friend of mine that's just posted in another Discord saying he was surprised that this documentary was a fan-made thing and it was all done with AI. He was surprised. And this is a person that's been around computers as long as I have. Yeah. You can actually get caught out.
Yeah, well, I mean, I look at the photographs. You see loads of photographs, and you can just tell. I think a lot of them. Okay, some are very good and very near, but there's some about it. I don't know. I don't think they've quite got it yet.
Good,
but it'll come, won't it? You won't be able to
tell. I hope it's gone. I can't stand. Well,
I don't like it because
I'm not a fan of it.
To me, it's no. I better not go there. But there's quite a big sort of rant behind it all.
Well, we'll have a talk about that another time. But
but to me, it has dangerous implications. A lot of this stuff does. Yeah,
I just think it puts people out of jobs. So
and for me, it's all the fake news business. That's where we get all that stuff coming from.
Bots and all of that sort of stuff around AI.
Yeah. I'm sure. I won't be surprised if Donald Trump employs somebody full time to do one. Yeah.
I thought Donald Trump was AI.
Yeah, actually, yeah. Perhaps he's a creation. He doesn't exist. Unfortunately, he does. Tony, Shaft in Africa wasn't as bad as some made out, in my opinion. Oh yeah.
I've only ever seen the first Shaft, and that's it. I've never watched any of it.
And Stephen says, I like watching Pam Grier movies just to catch a glimpse of her bush.
Bloody hell.
And I can't say anything more than that. Oh no, I was waiting for that. Is that Greg Wallace in disguise as Stephen? Oh, Greg Wallace. That name has been everywhere in the blooming news. The bald-headed bloke from MasterChef.
He's everywhere, isn't he, at the moment?
Yeah. And every Tom, Dick, and Harry now is saying, "Oh, I remember when he did this inappropriately. Yes, he did this, he did that." It's everywhere. Oh dear.
Oh, they'll all jump on the bandwagon and they'll accuse him now of absolutely everything.
Last week nobody came forward or mentioned anything that happened 15 years ago, but then suddenly everybody's memory suddenly goes, "Oh, 15 years ago he did this." Wow, yeah. What can you say? People's memories, eh?
No.
Tony says, Stephen, never noticed. Good excuse for a rewatch. Yes. movies. Tony Outlaw. Um, look, Greg Stephen Wallace. Yes, we get a Stephen Wallace. This Greg Wallace memes are getting out of control on Facebook. They are. They're everywhere
It's
now.
not going to be football results. It's going to be about Greg Wallace now.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. It's ridiculous. Uh, uh, I'm actually fed up of it. Yes, if you had an issue, they should have raised it directly with him at the time, not years and years.
Yeah, but there was a story earlier, and I this is where I feel really bad. I mean, it's only because my mum watches Coronation Street, but there's a guy that plays Martin Platt or something. Sam, I think his name is Sam something or other. Anyway, he was going to come back for his wife in the show's last story, and they sacked him. And it's because somebody came forward and said that, he did something to a lady in the back office in 1997. So they totally stopped his whole career. It's the first time he was going to be back on telly since he left the plot in 2005 or something, right? He was going to be paying homage to his wife in the series, which he played that part for 13 years or something.
Yeah.
Right. And because one woman came forward and said, by the way, in 1997, he did this to me, so I'm putting in a complaint. He now has to watch where he goes. He now has to have his back against the wall when he's at the train station, because vigilantes might try and attack him because he's a well-known actor.
Yeah.
And all because somebody turned around and said, I've got no witnesses. I didn't come forward in 1997 to say anything about it. I'm saying it happened.
Yeah.
And basically, they destroyed his career. Destroyed it like that.
Yeah.
Right? And it raised a question that said, if it wasn't true and he gets off, in other words, it wasn't true, it was just this woman who made it all up, then they should have equally the same sort of punishment against them for bringing it up.
Yeah.
And I had to look at it and go, do you know what? If we lived in an equality world, that'd be it. But there'll always be someone that'll turn around and say, well, there was no evidence or anything, or she was too scared to come forward, or whatever it was.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I don't understand why people come forward now then, if they've got no way that they're going to be able to prove anything. What you're doing then, you're eking out a revenge by destroying his career.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just think, I think that's it. His name's Sean Wilson. That's it.
Yeah.
And I just think it's bad. This guy, I couldn't, I mean, maybe he did do it, maybe he didn't.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I would have to look at it and say, what are you going to get out of it by coming forward, by turning around and saying 35 years later that this something like this happened?
Yeah.
It's 35 years ago. What? So I just look at it like that. You're going to get nothing from it. You've got no way of proving it, and it's your word against his.
Yeah.
Basically, all you've done then is eke out a revenge by making sure that he can never work ever again.
Yeah.
Equally, I'm looking at that woman and going, why didn't you come forward back then?
Yeah.
What did you ever mention it to anybody in your family?
Yes. Yeah.
And then from that, and anyway, it's another.
But thing. It's interesting. No, it's an interesting phenomena that's happening a lot.
Yeah. I mean, I'm all for catching these people like these animals and all of that.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But something, but one case of something where nothing. I mean, there's no. If you had 5 people that come forward, 10 people that come forward, I'd be going, one person.
Yeah.
I'd have turned around and said, "Excuse me, love, but where's your evidence?" Right. we'll now open a dossier and we'll see if any more people come forward, right?
Yeah.
Nobody else comes forward. You got to turn around and go, do you know what? The chances of you being right on this, my love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Tony says, I never did like him. Trouble with media is they go crazy once they get hold of something. Maybe I used the wrong words there. God, yes.
Like I said, I think the best thing to do is probably move on from it, because we're scared to talk about it. It's just it's such a hot.
Maybe I think he has a few quid they can get out of him in compensation. Yeah, there's always that. There's loads of PG versions of Flesh Gordon posters, mate.
No, I wanted to find one that encapsulated what I saw, which is the penis hands and the monster, this sort of stuff. If you want, I'll tell you what. You carry on talking. I'll quickly do one up then. All right, I'll quickly.
Del should put a background of Greg Wallace eating out of a towel. Oh God, no! I mean, eating. Oh dear. The jokes, yeah.
But while I look for this image, just remind Muckman that I did ask him to leave a comment to say a reminder, please.
Steve's Gaming says, Ian and Del, sorry I'm late, and a banging migraine all day. I hope you're both well. Oh God, no, migraines, awful, absolutely awful. Steve Moles, I bet Greg Wallace's favorite song is Not Bush City. Not knocking on Helen's door.
That's terrible.
Ian, the time tunnel. I don't remember it at all, but I can see the complete Blu-ray set is £22 on Amazon 7-disc. Is it worth a buy and still watchable? I've got it on DVD.
No, but that's what he's got.
Yeah.
He wants to know if it's worth upgrading.
I don't know what the quality is like. I don't know.
I will go back to what I said before,
which
is I believe it is worth upgrading. But all you need to do is go to Blu-ray.com, type in Time Tunnel, and it will tell you there whether it's if it was shot on film or not. If it was shot on video, it's probably not worth upgrading. If it was shot on film, then basically film has no resolution.
Yeah.
So it's bound sure to be a better quality product because they've gone to the actual negative of the film.
Yeah.
I believe Time Tunnel was done on film because it's an American product.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure I'm going to turn around and say it's worth getting. 22 quid.
22 quid is definitely worth it, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's a good price. Yeah. I'm sure DVD was at that. Is that not on and off? Because I'm sure DVD was around about that price.
Well, but you don't want to ask him to do that if he's got the DVD copy. What you want to know is the picture? Is the picture a noticeable difference?
Yeah.
And I have to turn around and say, do you know what? I bet you it is.
Yeah.
I haven't got it on Blu-ray, so I can't comment.
Tony says, Steve, I have that Blu-ray of Time Tunnel. I enjoy it. Not as much as Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, but great fun.
And it doesn't answer the question on whether it's a better copy or not. Is it better than the DVD?
Yeah. And they just Steve's Games. I used to own the Time Tunnel. It's a good series. And thanks, Steve Moles. Steve's Gaming says. This is another one. Yeah, The Invaders is my favorite.
For which there is no Blu-ray copy of The Invaders. There's no such thing.
Yeah.
Not that I'm aware of. If there is, I'm buying it tomorrow.
Yeah. Tony Hawk says, Del, I had to check. Didn't know, but yes, He won a BAFTA for Best British Actor. It was Term of Trial. He plays a school teacher wrongly accused of an inappropriate relationship with a pupil. That's the Laurence Olivier one, isn't it? The question at the beginning, the film we're on about.
Just bear with me while I try and come back because I'm trying to do this picture.
Okay.
Where am I? There. There. Right. I've changed the picture. Is that
Yeah.
that the outfit? All right. Now, I have to check, didn't know, but yes, he won a BAFTA for Best British Actor. It was Term of Trial. No, the film I was thinking of was The Entertainer.
Yeah, that's a different. Yeah, totally different. Yeah, he did definitely won an award with that Entertainer.
But what I'm saying is, Fora Heard and Laurence Olivier were in a film called The Entertainer.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was called Term of Trial, but was Laurence Olivier and Fora Heard reunited then 2 years later?
I don't know.
In a film called Term of Trial, because I've never heard of Term of Trial. But the film I was thinking of was The Entertainer.
Yeah. I'd say some DVDs are still in demand, especially the films that still haven't had a Blu-ray release in the UK, like Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid. Oh yeah, which is good that you've said. Thank you for sending me that as well. And Tony says, continued, played by Sarah Miles. Thora Heard played her mother. And Norman Bird, of course, yeah, the father. A film that needs a Blu-ray release, Hider in the House, starring Gary Busey.
I've heard of that.
Yeah.
Hider in the House and Gary Busey. And I've heard people turn around and say, yeah, that's definitely a film people would buy.
Yeah.
I can't remember Hider in the House.
Yeah.
Then again, there's many films I'm not gonna.
Yeah. Hold off buying Southern Comfort, Ian. I have my sights on the Vinegar Syndrome release. So if I buy it, I'll send you my standard Blu-ray. Great film. Well, thank you. Thank you, Jamie. Yeah, I will do. No, seriously, thank you. That's really kind. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm not saying anything.
And Muckman Movie says, yes, goal. Newcastle 2, Liverpool 3. Oh, yeah, we can get football scores now on here.
All I know is I think you'll find that they've already got to 3-3 since then, so I don't know what you...
Rewatched The Warlord with Charlton Heston and Richard Boone.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
I only seen it on DVD. Good historical adventure. Made a change for them to use Frisians as the baddies instead of similar looking Vikings. All right. Yeah, Vikings. Do you watch new films, Tony? And Tony says, to be honest, quite rarely, Jamie. I'm intending picking up Godzilla -1, if that counts. Yeah, that's a fairly new film.
I got that.
Yeah. Muckman Movies. Think Woo's last film was called Silent Night. The premise is the protagonist suffers a throat injury, so he can't talk, but no one else talks in the film, even though they have the ability to. Oh, well, that's right. Have any of you seen Final Score starring David Bautista? I've said his name right, Bautista. Die Hard in a football stadium. Have a rewatch last night, and not bad film. Started off as a Sky Cinema movie, and I couldn't pronounce his name last. I've said it right. His name. He's the wrestler guy, isn't he? He was a wrestler.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen the film.
Oh yeah. Uh, oh yeah. Yeah. There was a question on Play Tendo's guys thing live stream, and he said the question was, what rock films do you like? And I was going, oh, I'm trying to think about rock films, and because it was The Rock, the wrestler.
Yeah. That's why I was saying
Yeah.
instantly I thought to myself, I know that they mean the wrestler.
Yeah, I did.
But also, I was laughing because I was thinking, asking Ian Hill the Ramblings, what rock film did
I
you?
go straight into music. It could only mean music for me.
Well, I would have thought you might have thought about the Rock as in San Francisco or something, and the name for Alcatraz.
No, I was just thinking of
how many films of the Rock did they do? I only know one.
But Dwayne Johnson, I don't think I've seen any of his films. None of his films, I don't think. Right. So yeah, Die Hard in a football stadium sounds pretty good, actually. Sounds a good premise.
Yeah.
Eddie Murphy has done lots of good films. Beverly Hills Cop, yeah, everyone knows that. 48 Hours, Bowfinger, Dolomite is my name, to name a few. Yeah.
See, I only said it as a joke.
Yeah.
And what did I say? People take things literally.
Metro starring Eddie Murphy needs a Blu-ray release. Shrek.
By the way, I know Muckman didn't take it literally. He was just continuing.
I like I Spy too. I even have a soft spot for the Golden Child. Oh, the Golden Child.
No, yeah. I hate it. I did not like the Golden Child. I didn't like I Spy.
No.
I didn't. I'm not a big fan of 48 Hours.
No,
I don't mind. I don't mind Trading Places.
Yeah. Trading Places is best.
There's a number of films where I go, Eddie Murphy. I mean, I'm not a big fan of Daddy Daycare even, and all of this sort of stuff. It's just each to their own. I just think that Eddie Murphy was a person that hit gold for about 4 or 5 years, from 82 to about 87. And then I don't like Bowfinger, and that's got Steve Martin in it. It's just each to their own. There's a lot of people, that would turn around and say everything he touches is gold, and I'm not going to badmouth anybody that thinks that, because it could be their favorite actor. I'm just saying, I think for me it must have been, I watched his films, and he hit the ground running for a number of years, and then I just pitted off. I walked off and did other stuff, and when I went back, I went, that's not Trading Places, and that's not, and it's not great.
Yeah. To be fair, I think that's my favorite of his. I'm not as into other films as much as Trading Places is such a good script, such a good film. It just stands out. Whereas
he plays Valentine, doesn't he?
Yeah. Because Trading Places can be a good film to watch at Christmas as well.
Yeah.
Showtime was a good Eddie Murphy film with Robert De Niro.
Is that what I mean? I wouldn't doubt that.
I wouldn't.
I'm not going to turn around. The one thing I will say, though, Coming to America 2 was not very good in my opinion.
Muckman Movies, not seeing that one. And then we've got Jim Jam Movies saying good evening. Hello. Damn, 3-3. A sublime equalizer by Scar from Newcastle.
What did I tell you? I said, you're reading out that score, and I already know it's 3-3.
Do you know full time yet? But anyhow, let's jumping ahead. Hi, Jim Jam, and we've got Tony saying, "Evening, James." Um, Steve Moore says, "I hope they release Beverly Hills Cops." Beverly Hills Cop Axel F on Blu-ray, as I will have to go down the bootleg route. Was it one made for one of the streaming sites then?
Well, Beverly Hills Cop, the remake, in other words, the new
Yeah.
one that came out this year, which is called that.
Yeah.
We don't know, but do we? Because if it's a Prime or a Netflix, they're not well known for bringing out physical media.
Yeah. So
that's the thing.
They
do, but it's rare.
Yeah.
And usually you'll find that you have to go to the States to get them because that's the only place that they put them out. There was this one done by that guy Pascal, you know, the bloke who does the Mandalorian.
He pops up in a bit now, doesn't he?
He did this film a couple of years back where you land on a planet and it's got these. They're looking for money and they crash landed or something. Befriends this girl and it's supposed to be their last drop off and all of this sort of stuff. I forgot what it's called. You can only get that on physical media in the States.
Yeah.
Never released in this country.
No.
And I'm just going, you know, how many more are like this? You know, because
probably quite a lot.
You know, I must admit it's a bit of a shame, really, because there's a lot of stuff that I'd like to have on physical media.
Yeah. Tony says, I saw that about Sean Wilson from Corrie. It does seem strange. People wait decades to make these allegations. Yeah.
Well, the answer is always, I didn't have the courage. And then they'll always refer to the Me Too movement has made me come forward. But my opinion to that is, so when you heard about the Me Too movement, why didn't you come forward then? Why did you wait for him to come into the public sector again for you to then bring the encouragement out? You should have just instantly mentioned it. Right, this has given me confidence. Even though I haven't seen him on TV for decades, I'm going to mention now this guy raped me or whatever. You know what I mean? And yet they wait until he's going to come up in a big story. He's going to turn his career around, and then bang! He's all of a sudden. It's almost like I'm going to get a lot of media attention, and I'm going to sell my story to the Sun and all of this to get money. That's what I think it is.
I bet you're right. I bet the Sun or something will be on that. Steve's guy said, "Don't have time tunnel on DVD. To be honest, just wondering if it was worth buying the Blu-ray over the DVD."
Yeah, I've already answered that. Said you'd be crazy.
I never had it on DVD, so I can't compare. Tony says, and then Delboy's. Now you're saying it's £22. Bookman says, I watched Deadpool and Wolverine at the weekend. Was okay, pretty good fun, but my God, am I getting fed up with the multiverse slant that is running through all the Marvel films. It's become so tedious. That's why I'm with me. I just didn't like it.
I'm going to knock this. I'm going to knock this on the head. Hopefully, for once and for all. Right? I've said this already that Marvel are trapped in a storyline that they can't get out of. As much as you might be pissed off that it's in the multiverse, they can't just go with the next film. Right, that's where it ends, and I'll start again. They've already written 6 scripts for the next 6 movies. And remember this: Avengers, when that first film came out, was all intended to be the 3rd season, right? What they call the season of Marvel movies. They called them Project 1, Project 2, Project 3, right? And that's where Avengers Endgame was, and it was all going to end with Thanos. Well, the multiverse is supposed to be free. It's supposed to be another set of films on before you get to the end of it. Because you don't like the multiverse doesn't mean that they can just instantly go, yeah, it was a bad idea, when it will end it here, right? They've got another 10 films to come out before they get to the end. And as far as I'm concerned, that's where they're trapped in their own success, because they've basically written or structured every single film now to come out to be involve the multiverse, right? When that is finished with, then they'll start a new one off. I hope they won't. I hope that they make every single Marvel film from then on a singular point.
Yeah.
That once you've watched that film, you don't ever have to talk about the multiverse ever again. But you can't. You can't do that. And it's a shame, because Marvel now get such a bad reputation when people don't recognize the fact that they're trapped. They can't do nothing about it now.
And it's and the more they release these films, the worse it's getting.
But as far as I'm concerned, just think
people
about
just fed up of them.
Just think about this for a moment, right? Say we were talking about dentistry, right? You had 5 teeth to change, right? You had the first one done. It hurt like a bugger, and you said, I ain't ever going to have that done again. You've got another 4 teeth to change. I'm sorry, but you've paid for the other 4 teeth. It'll do exactly the same amount of pain as putting the first one in. So you have to go through the motions of going through those other 4 teeth. It's as simple as that, right? As much as you were in pain that first tooth, sorry, but there are another 4 coming. Right? And you've got to look at it a little bit like that.
Yeah.
And I feel sorry, because there's a lot of people out there that are really big Marvel fans, and each time that they want to talk about their films, they get slammed because they go, fed up with it, fed up with Marvel, don't want to talk about Marvel, fed up with this sort of side and all of this sort of side. I'm turning around and going, well, I feel sorry for the people that are excited.
Yeah.
Because if they do say it, they get slammed.
Yeah.
Now, I know that that'll never happen with us, Ian. I know that what your opinion of it, and I gave my opinion to you, and I said, you know what? I'll just take a break from it, matey.
Yeah.
It's the best thing for you to do. But the trouble is, I'm always on that side that goes, but you know what? For all the people that are enjoying it, good on you. I hope you do continue to watch it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just one of those things that Marvel are trapped, because they
do you think that they can turn it around with the new Avengers film then that comes out?
Can they? The new Avengers is about the multiverse. It ends the multiverse story.
So if it ends, maybe it could turn it around then. Maybe people will enjoy it.
The reason that you know that this ends the multiverse is because we've got Tony Stark as Dr. Doom.
Yeah. Oh no, don't. Yeah.
So in other words, in another multiverse, Tony Stark didn't become Iron Man; he became Dr. Doom. That's the whole point. It is a multiverse. It is in another universe, in another reality. Another character became something else.
Bad news.
That is why when you saw Thor, there was a woman Thor in it.
Yeah,
it was another universe.
Yeah.
Why, when you watch Spider-Man, that you saw the 2 other Spider-Men come through
the
other universe, etc., etc. This had massive potential, but the trouble is, all the stories were dire. Who wanted to watch Shang-Chi? I didn't. Bloody hell, what's all that about? People wanted more of Iron Man. They wanted more of Captain America. They wanted all of that. But the trouble is, they ended on a major success, which is all of these characters are dead.
Yeah,
Captain America's old. Black Widow's dead. Blah 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 blah. So you were left with the dregs,
and that's what we've had.
And that's what you've been watching.
Yeah. Yes. Right. Steve's Gaming says thanks. He's ordered. That's good. Well, we enjoy it. Never seen The Entertainer, Del. I know it was filmed in Morecambe.
It was. It was filmed in Morecambe. That's how I know about it, because I've been to Morecambe, and that it's funny. When I was living up in Manchester, it's not that far to travel to some places. I wanted to go to Morecambe because I believe someone told me that's where Eric Morecambe's statue is. Right?
Yeah.
So I went to Morecambe. I never actually did go to the statue. I don't know if it was there or not. I think it is, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
It is there,
yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah.
But I did go to Morecambe, and it, just on a day trip, and it was quite fun. But that's how I know, because I know so many things a little bit about Morecambe because I went there.
Yeah.
So it's not famous for a lot of things, but what a
No,
a
it
couple
is.
of them.
That statue, I think, attracts quite a bit of tourists.
It does.
It's very welcome, I think, for them, because they've always been in the shadow of Blackpool, Morecambe, as
Yeah.
and like Blackpool have got a big statue of Morecambe and Wise together in Winter Gardens. Del, send me your address, and then I can send you a copy of my lino prints. There you are.
Oh, it's Slade Prison. Yeah, the address is Slade Prison. Forgotten what the address is for Slade Prison. How are you?
Anyhow, it's there.
I don't know how to get an address to anybody, because unless they're, I mean, how do you, I mean, I haven't got an email address to him, have I? So how can I do that? Don't worry about it. We'll talk about it another time. But I don't want to slow anything down. But you could probably,
if you're on Facebook, it might be on the thing.
Oh, yeah, but what I'm saying is that you could probably send me his address.
Yeah. I'm sure we can find a way of finding that out. Yeah.
You'd have to be a friend of me, wouldn't he? Same problem then, in other words.
Yeah. Garage alert. Dell's house. Yes, that's it. We know.
You haven't mentioned my garage in a while.
All those steel books. Ridiculous.
They're not in the garage, though. That's the thing. I mean, who would put those in a garage which is really cold?
I don't know.
Garages are cold. I haven't got a central heating conditioned garage. You know what I mean?
Steve Mills, I watched Warlock 3 starring Bruce Payne, the bad guy from Passenger 57. It was awful. Bruce Payne is no Julian Sands.
Yeah, remember I showed in my blog that I bought Warlock 3 disc edition.
Yeah,
I only bought it for the first film, and the fact that Jerry Goldsmith did the score to the first.
Yeah.
I have to mention Jerry Goldsmith, don't I?
Oh, yeah, I have to get that in. Yeah, Mukman movies, and Tony's laughing. Turn out you'll need to get past the electrified door and guard dogs. All right, yeah.
I haven't got that.
I used to watch my VH copy of Warlock constantly back in the day. I loved it. Has it ever had a Blu-ray release?
Yeah.
There you are.
Hang on. Carry on.
Okay.
No, hang on. It didn't take many seconds, did it?
No, you got it.
Hang on.
Well, I'll just take that off so you can maybe see it better.
Warlock.
There it is.
Uncut from Germany.
Germany.
Yep. It's the only way you can get it.
So you can get hold of it then. Good.
It's the only way to get the trilogy.
Yeah. Let's see what have we got here. And Jamie says, how did I forget Trading Places? Bowfinger is in my top 3 comedies of all time. It constantly gets laughs out of me. I'm cancelling the lino print delivery.
Yeah, it's because I'm not a big fan of Bowfinger. The reason I don't like Bowfinger is I just didn't even like the premise of it. Trying to get this huge, big actor to filming him in his normal everyday life to make it sound like he was in a film. I just didn't even like the premise. That doesn't make it a bad film, because
No.
there are a lot of people that I know love that film. If you were to ask me, do you want to watch Bowfinger or do you want to watch Planes, Trains, and Automobiles? I'll be going, no blood, no, there's absolutely no,
no contest.
No contest. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
but Bowfinger is brilliant.
Yeah.
I mean, it's brilliant to a lot of people, just not for me.
Yeah. And let's see. Mukman Movies. I have Spanish Blu-ray releases of the first two. They both have English audio.
Yeah. What I'm trying to say is, for Warlock, I think you'll find you can get the first film in this country, but as a trilogy or that, I think you can only. I think you have to go to France, and Germany, and Italy, and all that.
Mukman Movies, excellent. May have to make a purchase. All right. Andy makes Star Wars. I agree with Del on Eddie Murphy. His 80s films is best dropped off massively. 90s, even with Nutty Professor, not my thing, made money.
Yeah,
I've never seen that. I've never fancied that.
Eddie Murphy, his 80s films, but his best dropped off massively in the 90s.
Yeah.
I have to turn around and say I'm a big fan of the original Nutty Professor.
Yeah,
He told me that Eddie Murphy was making a Nutty Professor. I turned around and I went, "Oh, come on!"
Yeah.
What are you doing? I mean, it's. I mean, I can virtually do the whole script of the original Nutty Professor.
Yeah.
What is this going to be? And what was it? It was Eddie Murphy doing his normal. Oh, I can be 5 independent characters. And all this stuff. And I was going, I'm not going to find this funny.
Yeah.
And but what I'm trying to say is here, Nutty Professor, I'm sure there's millions of people out there that are turning around now saying, how can you say that Eddie Murphy's Nutty Professor is not a great film?
Yeah.
I'm not saying that at all. It's just that I was with totally gloom.
Yeah.
When they told me that Nutty Professor was going to be an Eddie Murphy film, I went, oh, God's sake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Tony says, just to prove I don't only watch old English language films, today a German media book of Italian giallo, Death Carries a Cane, arrived. Luckily, the text is in German and English. Oh, that's good. And who directed that, Tony? Jamie says, Stimwell's Mukman Movies can import the trilogy on a Blu-ray box set. There is a Witchmaster box set as well, released by Lionsgate.
Yeah, you're getting several conversations. Thumbs
up on there from Mukman Movies. Tony York, Maurizio Prado. Sorry for that, Ian. The pronunciation. Yeah, you've got it. You'll have to put up with that one. That pronunciation. Is that a robot, Greg Wallace, trusting his appendage in Dell's side? Oh dear. He's getting a lot of mentions today, the Greg Wallace thing. Passi di danza su una lama di rosso. Oh, right. I hope that passed.
You destroyed that.
Yeah. Actually, it's not Rosso, it's Rasso, isn't it?
Yeah.
Di Rasso.
Passe di danza su una lama di rosso.
Di Rasso. You have to move your hands.
And I've no good at languages.
Thrusting, eh?
There's several
words like that around here, mate.
But there's several conversations here, and I'm getting totally confused over which one is which.
Is that a robot? Greg Wallace is thrusting his appendage against Dell's side. Yeah.
All right.
I'm sick to death of superhero films. Go on, have a good rant. I'm banning the new ones for 2 years to give people a break. Go on, you tell them. I know what you mean.
Yeah, but I love
Yeah,
Spider-Man, and I waited
I know.
30, 40 years for a superhero film.
Yeah,
It,
yeah,
that's the only thing where me and Steve will fall out, and I say, that's all right, Steve. You know, you have your opinion, but I'll
yeah.
tell you what, I wouldn't want them to ban a Spider-Man film. Ban all the rest of them, but don't ban my Spider-Man, because I waited bloody years.
Yeah, you tell them.
Years.
All right. Right. Tony says, I wasn't blaspheming there. That's the Italian title. Thank you. Simos, I recently got Cloak and Dagger 1984 on Blu ray,
Oh,
starring Emery Thomas from E.T. Really? I didn't know he had any more films after E.T. Oh,
no, I think I've seen that film, Cloak and Dagger,
right.
1984.
Yeah. Can't see the robot for the text on screen, luckily. Yeah.
I'm just hoping, look, that he appreciates that I put Flesh Gordon up, look, like
Yeah. There it is. Without the naughty bits. And
Well, I mean, look, it's still got a bloody penis shit look. I mean, the way you look at it,
I was watching a stream the other day, and they were arguing what's the best trilogy, Captain America or The Dark Knight. What's your favorite? Thanks.
See, now I'm going to be in a minority here, and I will always turn around and say Captain America is a better trilogy than The Dark Knight. And the reason I say that is I think The Dark Knight is overrated. Overrated. The second film was because the main actor died. The third one, everybody recognizes being the weakest, and the first one as being the best. So, but when it comes to Captain America, there's 2 out of 3. The second film and the third film are considered absolutely fantastic, both of them, if you like superhero films, I have to say here. And the first one's boring. So 2 out of 3 beats 1.5. But again, you're asking a person to say, which do you like better, Marvel or DC? That's what I think you're doing here. Or which do you think is better, Batman, who is absolutely known worldwide, or Captain America, which is a knockoff of Batman? Because that's what Captain America is. Captain America came about 6 months after Batman. I think it was 2 years after Batman in comics. Captain America has never been. If you were to show a circle with a star in the center and then show the bat signal, everybody's going to know what the bat signal is. Do you understand? Ian, wake up.
I am. No, I'm listening. I heard about the symbol.
I'm trying
I was
to
just
say
thinking about what you were saying. I was trying to match it with my answer.
But what I'm trying to say is if you were to show the bat signal to anybody in the world, they'll know it. If you were to ask them, if they were to show Captain America's shield, some people wouldn't have a clue what you're talking about.
Exactly. And the fact that it's Captain America immediately makes people think, oh, if you're in this country, you know.
Yeah, so what I'm trying to say is a lot of people will base it on not on the quality of the films, but on the quality of the character.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, I'm a fan of Batman, so it's got to be Batman.
Yeah.
Right? I don't look at it like that. I look at it in the quality of the films. Now, I've looked at the Dark Knight trilogy, and I've played it many times, and I still think the second film is overrated, and the third one's horrible. That means that you've only got 1.5 films, really. I've watched Captain America several times. The second film, which is called, well, there's Captain America Winter Soldier, is brilliant. Captain America Civil War is great. The very first Captain America, the origin story, is so-so. But the other 2 films, brilliant. Winter Soldier's great. So forth. That's all I want to say about it. But I think a lot of people would just turn around and go Dark Knight every time, Batman trilogy every time, and I just go, seriously, you seriously want to tell me that the third film is brilliant? Nah, not in my eyes, anyway.
Yeah. In my eyes, of course, it has to be Dark Knight.
You know what I mean?
It's just because I'm a more of a Batman fan, and you know,
that's where I think it's wrong. You got to look at it as for the quality
it's
of
sort
the
of,
film.
and I get some of what you're saying. It's like, and I'll admit it. It's because I'm a Batman fan. I'm probably more blind at assessing some of these films. If you like something, you tend to, perhaps not see some of the weaker points. But I would agree with you, and I think the opinion that the third film is not as good. The villain, is it Tom Hardy who plays that villain?
Bane.
It's not very good. The villain.
Tom Hardy played Bane.
That's right, and
it was a bloody awful. If you ever read the comic, Bane broke Batman's back, and it was a huge story, right?
Yeah,
Batman was out of action for a year.
Yeah,
Batman was back in action within about half hour in that film. It is awful.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it was awful, but I wouldn't say it was brilliant.
I'm going wrong there. It's not awful.
Even with my blindness, even I can see that it's the wrong villain. It's just there's something totally wrong about that villain.
Christopher Nolan will say it's the right villain when you consider that is the storyline that he was portraying, which is the breaking of Batman's back. You had to have Bane.
Yeah.
I just go,
no, look, I'm sure he could have done better.
The film is so weak that the only thing Batman had to do at the end was get bloody bombs out of a city and drop them off in the ocean somewhere. That's how piss poor that film was.
Yeah, I think, and I totally admit that. I still enjoy it, but I think that third film, even with blindness, is still not as good. It doesn't stand up.
The first film's not bad because it talks about the psychology of Batman, which is he was marked by the bat. He fell down the well. There was all these bats. Blah 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 blah. It turns into the psychology aspect of it. Great. The second one, I still think it's overrated. Heath Ledger is a brilliant actor. Don't get me wrong. Nothing wrong
with it. Again. I know what you're going to say. And I agree to some extent.
But just like the Crow, you could turn around and say that film only got anywhere.
Yeah, agreed. I think that's true about the Crow. I don't like the Crow that much. But it's Brandon Lee that made the Crow. His death. But with the Batman film, I've heard people on the other hand saying that they think the first Batman film in the trilogy is weakest. But I don't.
Like I said,
I quite enjoyed that first.
I'll tell you what. If you were to, this is how I am totally okay with everything. Right, I am a Marvel man through and through. Right, I will tell you now that the Captain America first film up against Batman, The Dark Knight, the first film, Batman beats Captain America.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm a Marvel fan. And I will turn around to you and I will say, hey, right, that Batman film beats Captain America every time.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm trying to be totally fair here and say, look.
Yeah. But I have to be honest about that third film. It kind of ruins the trilogy. The third film ruins the trilogy.
Look at the Spider-Man trilogy then, the Tobey Maguire trilogy, right?
Yeah.
Third film is considered to be the worst of the lot.
Yeah, I must give them a rewatch.
It's got Venom in it, and Sandman in it, and it's a mess because it's too many villains. Too many villains.
Yeah.
Convoluted is what they call it. But it's each to their own, won't we, Ian? I mean, at the end of the day,
I think it's just that third film just seems disappointing because the others were so good, and you
it's
kind
also
of
about 3.5 hours long, or it seemed to be anyway.
Yeah. It's because everybody wants a good trilogy. We do want a good trilogy, but there's always something that lets them down.
I'm not going to turn around and say that they're terrible films, all of them.
No.
Batman 3 is just, as far as I'm concerned, the worst of the three.
Yeah.
But if you were to ask me, is it a terrible superhero film? No, it's not. No. Christopher Nolan couldn't make a bad film.
No.
Just about, really. I mean, I've watched a lot of Christopher Nolan films.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed pretty much all of them.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, in retrospect, when you put all of his films together, I'd put Batman 3 pretty low down in every film he's ever done. And that
to me, they chose the wrong villain.
Yeah,
I think it was a wrong choice.
Totally. But you see, I have to ask you, Ian, how many Batman comics have you read in the last 25 years?
Yeah, exactly. And how many? Also, I would ask and this is true with Batman, even though we all love the 60s series and all that, they were always the same villains that the fans wanted. And yet you look through the whole series, there's loads of different villains. And do people remember them all?
Yeah.
Nobody. And that's the problem. That's Batman's problem.
All I'm saying to you is that you say it's the bad villain, and I'm turning around and saying, sorry, you're out of touch with Batman.
Yeah, maybe I am. Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty sure you would have turned around and said, oh, do you know what? That film would have been so much better if the Penguin was in it. Right. And I'm not going to turn around and say that isn't a bad answer. But I'm turning around and saying the Penguin's been done.
Yeah, exactly. And I can see that. I mean, the villains are Joker, Riddler, Penguin, and Catwoman. They're the four villains.
Yeah, but you forgot Jaws.
Sorry?
You forgot Jaws.
Jaws?
Yeah, you got to have the shark repellent bat spray. Yeah.
I've got.
I'm sorry, but if you don't have Jaws biting Batman's leg off, you haven't got a villain, as far as I'm concerned.
I like that one. Brilliant.
I've got to raise a laugh in there now, haven't I? So there you go.
I like it. That's good. That's a good answer. That. Without doubt, Dark Knight. Tony says March Radiance releases announced today. I already have 2 titles in the French thriller box set. Yeah. Radiance have been around a bit now, haven't they? They've released quite a lot of films.
Are you a big fan of Radiance? Because I haven't got many Radiance.
I've only got one title. That Scream and Scream Again. That's the only Radiance film I've got.
I can't say that I'm a big Radiance fan.
Yeah, I don't know. I might be if I collected more, but I don't. So I just can't do it. So there we. A good superhero movie to check out: Defender, 2009, starring Woody Harrelson.
Yeah, it's trouble is most people will turn around and say a superhero film is not Defender. I mean, at the end of the day, what's the character's name even, right? And I'll turn around and say, you're quite true. But then again, The Crow is a superhero film.
Yeah.
And a lot of people
love The Crow, though. I mean, it's just me.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is a superhero film.
Yes, that is true. That is true. It's very true, isn't it? Yeah.
It's one of those things where define now a superhero film.
Yeah,
because Bond is a superhero in certain people's eyes.
You could argue that. Yeah.
Just because they haven't got their Y fronts on the outside of their pants don't make them not a superhero film, really. These days.
Now this is interesting. This next one, Jamie says, I like Mystery Men, such an underrated
Oh,
superhero
Mystery Man.
comedy.
Yeah. Now Milkman and I are on both agreement on here. Mystery Men. Yes.
Yeah. And
I mean,
yeah,
there's a bloke on there with the spoons, isn't there? his superpower is cutlery or something. Is that right? I think it is, yeah.
Super is pretty good too. All right. Now that Tom Cruise is finishing the Mission Impossible series, I would like him to do another Jack Reacher movie. I don't know. I don't know what my opinion is on that.
I'll tell you what, when Tom Cruise finishes Mission Impossible series, I think he'll be in a wheelchair. I think it's another 2 years off before he's finished part 2 of the last.
Has he announced he's finishing after he's done that one? Then
I know, but what I'm saying is, even at the end of that, he'll be in his 60s.
Yeah.
I mean, can you see him doing a Jack Reacher film?
Yeah, an action film again. Yeah. I mean, I get you.
I'm just turning around and saying, do you know what? At some point, Tom Cruise, you need to become more Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just sound back a bit. You know what I mean?
He's not Peter Pan, is he? He's not going
to. You can have a heart attack, man. Settle down. I mean, he even came on at the handing over of the Olympics on a bloody motorbike.
Well, yeah. Remember, there's another Edge of Tomorrow, which I believe is happening. Oh.
You know what? I love Edge of Tomorrow. The most people that I speak to about that also agree with me that Edge of Tomorrow is great, and yet it's ranked so low.
Yeah,
Edge of Tomorrow. I mean the box set as well that I've got of it, the Steelbook box set. It's a work of art. It's got a sort of like plastic outer, you know, with you know, like start, stop, repeat. Going diagonally across it. It's gorgeous. Edge of Tomorrow. I love Edge of Tomorrow. It's great.
Yeah. Won't Tom Cruise be getting too senior to do his own stunts now? Yes, I think he will eventually. Yeah, it must be. One of my favorites was Minority Report. That would be good for a sequel.
I don't know. Would that be good as a sequel? At the end of the day, it's about incognition, isn't it? About being able to predict the future and stopping crimes before they even happen.
That's right.
You find out that the three cogs, they're put back into the bath, aren't they? At the end.
Yeah.
And but wasn't the whole project then dismantled because it was? I don't know. I think it's based on a book, and wasn't the whole?
I've not seen it for years. I can't remember.
It's a Steven Spielberg film. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
Love it. Special effects die for when it came out. But what I'm trying to say is, the person that fooled people into thinking that you couldn't make this, make this thing fallible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He said it's infallible. We're talking about predicting the future, and we've got free cog, you know, special powered cog, you know, future cog people that can predict the future, and it's infallible. You cannot say that. But then they found out it is infallible. So basically, the project was therefore ended, and therefore things go back. So how would you make a second? How would you make a second Minority Report based on the damning evidence that you can make this infallible project fallible?
Yeah.
I don't know where you'd go with it. It's like saying, can we make a sequel to AI? You know, that artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
Well, it's ended, didn't it? Pinocchio got his wish, and that was the end, wasn't it?
Yeah.
There's nowhere to go.
No. Steve's Gaming says, I never found Eddie Murphy funny in the least. Sorry, there's no need to be sorry. It's all, you know, it's true. Some people you just don't find funny or are supposed to be funny.
That's why I love these chats, because nobody's wrong.
Yeah.
That is
I
wrong.
mean, you see comedian. I'll tell you something. You get, this comedian's won the Comedian of the Year. They're often these people you've never heard of, or they're on television that I never watch on BBC One or something. And
Yeah.
you see them, and they're about as funny as a bag of soot or something. They're just not funny. They're awful. And you're thinking, oh, how have they won? There's a female, I don't know her name. There's this female comedian, and she's got a disability. She can't.
Oh, I know the one you're
No
talking
problem.
about. Yeah, she's in Taskmaster all the time.
And she's not funny. And she keeps
No.
being considered an award-winning comedian. It
No.
just, you've got to be funny, haven't
Yeah,
you?
you don't want to turn around and say anything. I'm pretty sure that you don't want to say anything nasty because she's
No.
she's got a
I
disability.
know she is, yeah.
But at the end of the day, I've listened to one of her jokes.
Yeah.
And I went, what was funny about it? I don't.
Yeah.
It's not about the way you're saying it because
No.
you're disabled.
It's nothing to do with that. No.
Anything like that. It's just I don't
Just
know
not
what was
funny.
funny about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know what you
thought
mean.
that.
You know what you mean?
Yeah. Some people are funny and some are just not. And if you're not, there's a Vestron release of Warlock Trilogy, £29. That's pretty good then for 3
Yeah, but
films.
I think mine is Vestron. I'm not sure.
Yeah. That's pretty good. 29 quid.
Oh no, mine's Lionsgate.
Oh right.
Yeah.
Ian learns a language 101.
101.
101. Yeah.
101. 101. Jesus.
Oh dear.
All right, he's from Leeds.
Hey lad, Bayek. Just bought Vestron Warlock Trilogy on eBay for $24.99. It's going down now.
Brilliant.
Price for that. Yeah.
But he's bought it from eBay, not from Amazon.
Yeah. US import. Well, that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
What movies? Bargain. Yeah.
Well, you just got to put 3 into 24. That's how much it costs, isn't it?
Any Truffaut fans, just watch the new Radiance release of his story of Adele H. His story of Victor Hugo's mentally disturbed daughter. She follows a British Army officer to Halifax. Really?
I will say this. I should be more of a Truffaut fan than I am.
I should watch more of his films.
No, because my favourite composer is Georges Delerue, and their partnership spanned 50 years.
Yeah.
Their partnership spanned. It's like, are you a Bernstein? Not Bernstein. Oh, for God's sake! Just bear with me a minute. Yeah. Are you a Herman fan because you like Hitchcock?
Yeah.
Right? You know that Hitchcock partnered with Herman for years. Do you see what I mean? You couldn't separate the two up until they did split. So Truffaut, French.
Yeah. Well, for me, his name is always, it's Close Encounters of the Third Kind. That's it. That's how I think of him. But I know he's a massively big, well thought of French director. He's considered an important French film director, but it's something I should watch his films, but I haven't got around to it.
Yeah.
Hopefully, yeah. But I know he is important. So I just Close Encounters of the Third Kind is one of my all-time favorite films.
Yeah.
Any good? It's Isabel Adjani, isn't it? All right. Not Yorkshire, Canada, as she's infatuated with him. Quite a tragic tale. All right. Oh yeah, I've seen that 400 Blows, and I've always wondered quite what that is about. Is that Alain Delon, French actor?
I
I
think
may be
I'm not
wrong
sure.
on that,
400
but he
blows.
pops up. Yeah, but
I'm
he's
not
in.
sure.
It's one that comes up. I've seen it on lists. Um, yes, it is Isabella Adjani, Jamie. I enjoyed it. I'm getting 400 blows at some point. Never really seen much of Truffaut at all before. That's one thing I like about Radiance. They introduce you to some undiscovered gems. Yeah, that's what they seem to be doing, Radiance, from what I've seen, what people say. There's releases every month, isn't there, of Radiance?
Yeah. Yeah,
Right.
hang on. I got something for you. I'll put it in the chat. So that's the thing about Georges Delarue, the collaboration it's got here. Oh, it's over 200 characters. It says his career was diverse and he composed frequently for major art house directors, most often Francis Truffaut, including Julius and Jim, but also for Jean-Luc Godard's film Contempt.
Jean-Luc Godard,
And
yeah.
for Alain René's Louise
Yeah.
350 scores he did.
Oh, it's a lot. Isn't it? A hell of a lot.
I needed to find out how many scores he did.
Yeah.
350. That's a bloody big number.
Yeah.
That's all I got to say.
And Jamie says the Bride Wore Black was good too.
Yeah. I've heard of that.
Yeah, Radiance are definitely releasing some interesting stuff that wouldn't see the light of day with any other label. Messiah of Evil, for instance. Yeah, I've seen that. I've looked at that one and thought about that, getting that one. Really enjoyed Bride Wore Black, Tony says. The third Batman film isn't actually as bad as most people say. No, I won't say it is. I don't think it is.
I just said it's the worst of the trilogy because I saw it.
Yeah.
And of course, there's no shark in it.
Yeah. The Captain America film starring Red Brown are bad, and the Captain America from 1990 as well. So I've never seen them. I'm not sort of thing I want to particularly see.
Yes,
I can imagine.
What you have to look at here. This is what people are. So this is what people are saying here. Before Blade is a bad time for Marvel. There is Blade and films after Blade, and there is films before Blade.
Yeah.
The only thing good that came out of Marvel before Blade was the Hulk TV series, which was
which
is also a film.
Yeah.
Right? After Blade, and you're starting to get into the better stuff, because then you start getting into X-Men and Spider-Man and all of this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Right? That Captain America from 1990, right? It was Marvel selling to people like Roger Corman.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And them bringing out a film because they had to, otherwise they'd lose the license. And the only way that the film company could actually keep the license is if they brought out a film.
Yeah.
All they had to do was spend 50 quid, right? and have a bloke in pajamas running through with a plastic shield in his arm and call it Captain America, and they kept the license, right? Now, Spider-Man was sold, believe it or not, to I think it was to Lionsgate. I think it was.
Yeah.
It was the same team that brought out Terminator 2.
All right. Yeah.
And that meant that James Cameron was going to direct it, but they couldn't get they couldn't get the film off the ground. Right, a big name like James Cameron, he basically, Marvel pushed back against it and said, "You want to change too many things about the character of Spider-Man."
Yeah.
It was with, do you believe it or not, it was with Canon for years.
Yeah.
And Canon like I said, sort of like giving it out to directors and then not making the film.
Yeah, yeah,
So that this is why Spider-Man is now with Columbia or Sony,
yeah.
and Sony will not let it go because
No.
as long as they keep within contract, which is you bring out a Spider-Man film, and if you don't bring out one in 5 years, then basically it relinquishes back to us for free.
Yeah.
They'll turn around and go, oh, that's all right, then we'll bring out a film called Kraven the Hunter. It's in the Spider-Man universe. It keeps it within
Yeah.
it. We're not having to bring out another Spider-Man film. Of course, when it gets close to 5 years, they'll bring out another one.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it means that Marvel will never have all of their characters within in-house.
Yeah.
The only reason they got X-Men was because they bought Fox.
Yeah.
Otherwise, Fox would have never have given them X-Men back.
Yeah.
Oh, no. But Disney bought Fox. That was it.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you had the Fantastic Four and X-Men all in one package. Bang! Just by buying.
So they're stuck with this Sony problem, then. They're stuck with it now, then.
So Marvel will really, really want Spider-Man back. They know it, but it's stuck because Sony will always turn around and say, "You can have Spider-Man if you want, but we want 10 billion."
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're
not going to pay.
Bloody hell! No way. It worth 10 billion.
Yeah.
So they'll bring out crap film after crap film after crap film just to piss them off.
So they're trying to spoil the releases of them, really, aren't they?
And Spider-Man is Marvel's flagship character.
Yeah. Yeah. Mind you, I don't like. I know I'm not a massive Spider-Man expert. I enjoy the films, but it seems to me like you have mentioned it before. Why we always get a younger Spider-Man. To me, I'd like to see an older one.
Yeah, but you have to.
And you wonder if it's all because they're doing it for the audience. They think the audience wants to see a young one.
No. Think about it. If you bring out an older Spider-Man, 4 years' time, it'll be too old.
Yeah.
Spider-Man is still in high school.
Yeah, no,
he's been there for 50 years.
Yeah.
No, it's not quite that bad. He's left. Basically, he's been around since 1962. It's now 2024. He was at high school. Then he went to sort of like whatever is above high school.
Yeah, college kind of.
So he was college, then he was high school.
Yeah.
Then he left and went back as a student teacher.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And whichever way you look at it, as a character, he's about in the comics. He's around about 26.
Yeah.
And he started off probably around about the age of 15.
Yeah.
That means in 60 plus years, he's aged 11 years.
Yeah.
Now, you could turn around and say, but then there's another Spider-Man called Miles Morales, and he's black.
Yeah.
But most people that want Spider-Man in a film recognize the character Peter Parker, right? Peter Parker is white. White, and he's basically now between the ages of 16 and 26.
That's what they want.
That's what it is. Right now, if you stop making a Peter Parker film, then basically it's Miles Morales Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I don't think that would be as popular.
Yeah, well, they have to surely look for market and what they think that people want to see.
Yeah,
and that's
I didn't like the fact that in the last Spider-Man film, right, they actually made a point of this. I think one of the Spider-Men that was in it, one of the three, took his mask off and he said, "Oh, that's right." He was talking to Electro, and Electro turned around and said, "Oh, I was really disappointed." He said, "You took your mask off and you're not black."
Oh, yeah.
That's because Miles Morales is the black Spider-Man.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah.
And I'm going, for goodness sake, this is the woke part of films that really pisses me off.
Yeah.
I don't mind there being a black Spider-Man, but the trouble is I waited years and years and years for Peter Parker to be Spider-Man. If you end it now, then that means I had 10 or 11 years of Peter Parker as Spider-Man. That's it.
Yeah.
And I waited 30, 40 years for that.
Yeah, that's
As far as
true.
I'm
Yeah.
concerned, when I go to my grave, change it to Miles Morales. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm worm food at that stage. You know? Until that point, then of course I want it to be Peter Parker. It's just because that's how I am a Spider-Man fan, and from me, my
Yeah.
point of
Oh
view,
yeah, I get you. Yeah.
the quintessential role is Peter
Yeah.
Parker. That's all. That's all. Anyway, we talked about too much about
Right.
Spider-Man.
So Jamie says, my favorite Batman film is Batman Begins. I loved it. The scenes where everyone is hallucinating is virtually jaw-dropping.
Yep.
Tony York says, got at the same time as Adele H. Slap the Monster on page 1 and other Radiance. It tells of media manipulation involving a girl's murder during Italy's years of lead in the 70s, political and social turmoil. Yeah. The radio is certainly doing a lot of releases, aren't they?
Yeah, I said I need to look into it.
For foreign language films. Scott Adkins would play a good Batman. All right. Steve says that. Here we go. Favorite Christopher Nolan film. Oh, boy.
Go on then. You're going to be Interstellar or something.
Yeah, you've got it. You straight away, that's all I said. It's Interstellar.
Yeah. By the way, my £100 Interstellar arrives tomorrow.
Oh, right. Anyhow.
I like Interstellar. Interstellar is an amazing film.
It is. It feels like such an original film in many ways to me. You know, when you watch your film and think, oh, there's no like this. That's the kind of film that feels like to me. The real proper film, as we say.
Yeah, if I really want to piss him off, I could go 2001.
No, that's not a proper film. That's a bore fest. No, if I'm honest, oh no, it's just me. There are people like you who absolutely love it, who think it's the best since.
No,
and that's fair enough.
Interstellar,
that is fair enough.
Interstellar is a great film.
Yeah,
it's up there. I would class that up there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is where I go, look, I bow down and I go, do you know what? There are certain films brilliant, you know? Just because I might be on the fringe of your mental because you say this about Batman or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Look, there are certain things I like.
Yeah.
Nolan did this film, that's universally sort of like got a mediocre point of view, which is what, Tenet? Is that what it's called? Tenet?
Yeah, that's not bad. Yeah, it's true. Yeah,
I think the reason for it, people didn't quite get what it's talking about. It's almost like
it's not an easy film to follow. Tenet. I'm being polite there. I'm being polite. It's not an easy way. To be honest, I had to watch it again to really fully get it. You know, first watch it wasn't. I was, and then read up a bit on it, then watch it again, and then it seemed to be better.
But what I'm saying is, most people will look at things and go, "Yeah, that's a pretty."
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm going to go with Interstellar.
Why not? Why not? Indeed. Movies. Memento was good. Yeah,
I've got Memento.
Yeah. I have the Years of Lead box set, but not even opened it yet. All right.
I don't think I've heard of that. The Years of Lead. What's that then?
That's what we mentioned. It was on about earlier. They were on about.
Oh, sorry.
Was that the Italian films?
Yeah, probably. That's why I don't recognize it.
Yeah, I'm just saying here. During Italia's years of lead in the 70s, it's a political social
Yeah.
turmoil and all that.
And what I mean
Yeah,
is I get
yeah,
mixed up when people start talking about Giallo and that. I
yeah,
never thread on what people are talking about.
yeah.
It will be hard
Um,
for me to understand what that something of lead is. You know what I mean?
yeah.
I wouldn't know what they're talking about.
Um, Frank Holder says, "Hiya, dudes. Hello, Frank. Um, Memento is great. Mine is Inception. Yeah, closely followed by The
The
Prestige.
Prestige is good.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say it's up there as a like
yeah,
top notch. I mean, but then again, who am I to say? I mean, I like
yeah. Exactly. Yeah, no,
I
yeah,
liked Oppenheimer, and people looked at
yeah,
me strange. I
yeah,
went, "What's so strange?" Just because I like a film,
yeah.
you know?
Uh, the Arrow set, Jamie. I have that. Watch them all. Really enjoyable. Fascinating period in Italy. Late 60s through to early 80s. Inspiration for many crazy action films. So this is, I remember that, the years of lead. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll remember that phrase. Yeah, the Arrow box set. Um, Frank Alder. Question, Delboy. I know from your channel that you are a huge fan of Marvel and superheroes. Which superhero is your favorite? And any you hate? Oh my crikey. I like Spider Man and hate Batman. Batman sucks balls. All right. There you are.
well, I'll
So
never
that's
go.
a question for you,
Yeah,
Del Boy.
yeah, well, no, honestly, it'll be very, very quick answer because we've talked upon the subject and people
Yeah.
know already, right? I'll never use the word. I'll try not to use the word hate because I think
No, I think it's
it
yeah,
alienates too many
yeah,
things. Spider-Man is my obvious favorite. Least favorite would probably be someone like Aquaman for the DC side of things. If I was looking at the Marvel side of things and I was looking purely at films, not as characters that are out, I would
yeah.
probably say Shang-Chi.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Just
yeah,
as a character, not as the film. The film was all
yeah,
right up to the end.
yeah,
I didn't like
yeah.
the end. I didn't like the end of the film. But Shang-Chi, what the hell's all that? What's all that kung fu bollocks? Um, you know what I mean? There's
Yeah,
it's almost like it stands out as being not a superhero film because it's just a
yeah,
bloke around and he seems to be quite good at kung fu.
yeah,
Now, don't get me wrong, I'm well aware that as a character in a comic book, Shang-Chi, when it was in over 200 plus comic books, 200, you can't turn around there and not say therefore he's not a superhero. But what I'm trying to say is I've never been interested in the kung fu side of things in a comic book. I just don't. You know, Shang-Chi, as far as I'm concerned, it was Marvel trying to cash in on Bruce Lee films. Right? Bruce Lee was big in the cinema, so they decided they'd bring out a character called Shang-Chi. That was it.
yeah.
Iron Man's arch enemy for a long time was Fu Manchu.
All right. Oh, the Fu Manchu.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
the mandolin.
yeah,
All Asian things. They had to stop it because of race.
yeah, yeah,
Anyway,
yeah,
the question was least favorite in the Marvel side of things is Shang-Chi. Favorite in the in the DC side, I would probably go with Batman, but just. And the reason with that is because I think Superman is just unbelievable. If you've got a character that's virtually indestructible, where's the peril? If the only Achilles hero is a green piece of rock, it's going to get boring pretty quickly. Batman's fallible all the time. At any point, you could kill him. Superman, it's like, how can you kill Superman without kryptonite? It's like, you know what I mean? And this is where I
yeah,
say, look, I'm a little bit out of sorts when it comes to the comic book. They probably found a million ways now that you can kill Superman. But when I knew Superman, kryptonite was his only Achilles heel, and that meant that every person that was going to fight Superman, he had to do something like flip his finger like that, and then they would. You know, he had Ray. You know, he's got hearing, lasers for eyes, can fly at round the planet so fast he could turn back time. Jesus Christ, this guy couldn't do anything wrong. You know, he's infallible. So Superman is just an unbelievable character. A shame, because I think the character's interesting. It's an alien, isn't it? So anyway, Spider-Man, Shang-Chi, Batman, and Aquaman as the worst. Yeah, Aquaman. Yeah. Commands fish. Yeah. Not into that. So that was quick. I tried to be quick.
Mine would be Spider-Man the best. Thor. This is on terms of films. Thor.
Yeah.
The worst. I really don't like Thor. Batman. I like, and Aquaman's just appallingly bad.
Yes, I watched that film and I just could not find anything good in it whatsoever.
Yeah, I agree. I gave up on it. I'm just not interested in it. It's just awful.
I'd watch Suicide Squad over Blue.
Oh, I hate them. I forgot about them. I don't hate them, but I don't like them.
I would watch that over Aquaman.
Yeah. Honestly, both Suicide Squad films, I got rid of them. I had them in my collection. I just thought, I'm not going to ever watch these again. They're just rubbish in my eyes.
Christopher Reeve was my Superman.
Yeah, of course. Why? He would be.
I must admit,
so am I.
I do understand. I am old school. I am out of touch, right?
Yeah.
Anybody else would turn around and say, "Oh, Harvey Keitel,"
no,
Harvey, whatever his name is. I don't know. Christopher Reeve is my Superman. You know, I mean, like my Batman really is Adam West, really.
Yes, yeah.
I mean, you could turn around and say Michael Keaton at a pinch.
Yeah.
Right, because I was around in '89, and of course I was still quite young then, and all that sort of stuff. I definitely wouldn't say Val Kilmer, and I wouldn't say George Clooney either. But then after that, you've got take your pick.
Yeah.
How many people have played Batman now? Jesus.
Yeah. Right. We've got Tony saying, "Oh, Cruz is 62." Oh, right. Really?
What did I say? I said after he comes out.
I was curious, so I checked.
After he comes out and does the next Mission Impossible film, it'd be about 65, and I was right.
Yeah.
That was right looking. I'm going, ooh, 16. Look, I told you now, I'm 65, 70. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Give it a rest, man. You'll be Iron.
Yeah, exactly.
You should be doing film versions of Ironside. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Oh, you should be doing live chats.
Go and Google. Just go and Google Ironside, folks, and you'll know what I'm talking
about. We could have him as a guest on here, couldn't we? Yeah.
You're older than me, you miserable bastard. Yeah.
So, whatever you do, don't mention Scientology. Nothing's going on.
Don't mention his height either.
Yeah. On Nicole Kidman. Yeah.
I don't know. I think he's settled back now, hasn't he?
Has he got more? Yeah. Stephen Wells says Bane was also in Batman and Robin as well, was he? Oh God.
Yeah.
Poison Ivy's bodyguard from everybody's favorite Batman film.
Yeah.
All right. Edge of Tomorrow is bloody brilliant.
Which is what I said.
And Tony Hawk probably to be able to do his own stunts at 70. Looks like he keeps himself fit. I'm sure he does.
If you consider walking down the hallway at 70 as being a stunt, yeah, he probably can do his own stunt.
Yeah.
Depends on what you consider a stunt. Do you mean jumping over a brick wall? Possibly not.
Yeah. All that bike business that they just showed all the time. Has anyone seen Strange Days? Yeah, it's such an underrated sci-fi thriller. It is by Catherine Bigelow. Ralph Fiennes is great, but Angela Bassett sees the whole show. It is a great
An
film.
absolute
Strange Days.
fantastic Laserdisc
What
that I
a
bought
film!
back in the day,
Yeah.
right? I bought that on Laserdisc, and on my same purchase on the same invoice, I've got Brainstorm.
Oh, there's another great film, which is famous because she died when they didn't quite complete the film, but they do a good editing job. Natalie Wood.
What I'm trying to get at was you can see how I was block booking films. I was buying.
Yeah.
When I
love Brainstorm.
When I was ordering Strange Days, I was obviously looking around and going, "What's similar to Strange Days?" Oh, I know, Brainstorm.
Yeah.
Right, and I ordered Brainstorm.
Yeah. Yeah, Brainstorm. I really like Brainstorm. Even with what they've done with the editing, it's a brilliant film. I love it. Absolutely.
But it's weird, isn't it? The last 10 minutes of that film is in 70mm, and it's like all just effects, isn't it?
But
Strange Days, you'd never get that. I mean, you'd never get that remade. I don't think.
No.
Would you?
A lot of people probably think it's a bit slow and a bit,
It's 2 days. It's what is it? 1 day before New Year's Day, isn't it?
Yeah.
2000, isn't it?
But it's quite a long film for people.
He's selling memories as a drug, isn't it?
It's great.
If you do a bank robbery, you can relive it as being a bank robbery.
What a film! It's a great film. That I enjoyed Angela Bassett in Fallen films.
The Fallen films.
All right. Talking about Tom Hanks, I watched one of his early films last night. The Man with One Red Shoe, where he gets mistaken for a spy. Oh, Carrie Fisher and James Belushi also star. Oh,
yeah. Wow. Man with One Red Shoe. There's that one with Shelley Long about the house, isn't there? Where they're building a house. All sorts. Those were all early ones.
Yeah. Who was talking about Tom Hanks?
I was. I brought up Tom Hanks, didn't I?
Yeah.
At some point, Tom Cruise. At some point, Tom Cruise needs to start acting like Tom Hanks.
Yeah. No.
Start slowing down, didn't I?
James says, I've not seen any of the Fallen films, just heard that they are not very good. I do like Fallen starring Denzel Washington and John Goodman. Yeah, Denzel Washington.
Amazing how John Goodman turned his film career around, isn't it? With that Cloverfield. Was it Cloverfield? It was one of the Cloverfield films.
Yeah, I think it's the second Cloverfield one, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the one where it's underground, isn't it?
Yeah. Tony says, Jamie, the Fallen trilogy, leave your brain at the door fun. Just sit back and enjoy. Never boring. Too much action for that. That's good.
I'd agree with that. Yeah.
I prefer Olympus Has Fallen to the very similar White House Down. Tony says.
I mean, I'm not a big fan of the Fallen films. I mean, it's one of those things where it always seems to be that same character again, isn't it? What's his name from 400 and that? 300, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
His name is. Anyway. And it's almost like, right, I'm protecting the White House. Now I'm protecting the Houses of Parliament. Now I'm protecting and I'm just going, oh, you know what? I'm fed up with this. You know what I mean? They just put Olympus in front of everything. You know?
I'll have to watch them. I have got one to watch on DVD, but I will get around to watching that.
I mean, I'm not
I've never seen them.
I'm not putting anybody off watching.
Yeah.
Nobody had listened to me.
I've got to watch. Yeah.
All I'm getting at is it just seems the same. It's like, how do I protect this building?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I just went,
yeah. And Jamie says, might watch them on streaming then. Worst still, that Fantastic Four movie that never came out, but it is on YouTube. And that awful Doctor Strange TV movie.
Okay, so the Fantastic Four film is the film that was done by Roger Corman.
Yeah.
And he finished the film with 3 days to spare. Otherwise, he lost the license. So
Yeah.
that's why he did that. Doctor Strange was done at the same time as Captain America. Again, done for exactly the same reason. It's bloody awful.
Yeah.
He even tried to sell it off as a TV film, and it was bloody awful.
Yeah.
Right? Even Bill Bixby's The Magician was better than the Doctor Strange TV movie.
Yeah.
Because it was nothing. You didn't have the money to make it like the Doctor Strange films that you've seen at the cinema, right? That's the proper Doctor Strange, right? The one closest to what the comic books were talking about. How'd you do that back in the in the 80s, right? It's like Spider-Man in the 70s, right? How the hell do you have the Green Goblin and Electro and Rhino and all of these sort of characters, right? When they can't even have the man climb convincingly at the side of a building and then swing from building to building. They can't. That's why the only thing good about the Spider-Man Hammond TV series from the 70s really was the fact that Nicholas Hammond played an exceptional Peter Parker, and he did pretty well dressed up in the costume. But whenever the stunt double was trying to swing from building to building, the guy was actually swinging from building to building, and it looked as ropey as you can imagine that 1970s special effects can be. I'd hate to be that stuntman. I mean, you ask that stuntman to go, right, swing from that balcony and swing to that other balcony with this rope. I'd be scared shitless. I'm pretty sure the special effects guy was scared shitless. And all you've got is a camera, and you've got one of them pointing at him, and they're saying, do this in one take. Absolutely. Absolutely, I'm going to do it in one take. If you think I'm going to do this again second time, you've got another thing coming. That's how it was. That's how it was back in the day. You know what I mean? Christ.
Okay. Let's see.
Made you laugh with that.
Yeah, it did. Jamie says, "Oh, this is easy for me. Your favorite foreign horror film? Go. I've said it every week.
I'm going to let you answer. Yeah, I was going to say I'm going to let you. I'm going to let you
excellent.
answer it because I haven't got an answer.
Yeah, Suspiria. I always say that. Have you seen Suspiria?
I haven't seen Suspiria.
Honestly, you ought to. Really, seriously, you ought to watch Suspiria.
I've mentioned it before. If I ever get the money up together to buy a 4K of it, I will.
You must buy it. You must get it. It's honestly, it's such a good film. You'll appreciate the cinematography of it and the music, the soundtrack. Honestly,
I've got the soundtrack.
Yeah, well, you've got the soundtrack. Get the film now.
I ain't got the film.
Get the film.
But the trouble is that I probably want.
There's a 4K out of it.
Yeah, but I probably want a steel book or something.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a steel book.
No, there is, and I haven't got it. I haven't got it. You see.
Yeah, the 4K is honestly, it's a beautiful film to look at, and the 4K. It's probably one of my favorite 4K films that I can see.
I know you rank it highly. You said enough about it.
Absolutely a beautiful.
You said enough of it on Pete's channel the other day.
Yeah, so, I do. I know. I do go on about it, but it is. Yeah.
Yeah, because Amy, it's one of Amy's favorite films.
Yeah, I can understand why. It's just. Tony Polanski's The Tenant springs to mind. Oh, that's a film I've still got to see. Always mentioned. The Tenant. Stephen Mole says there was even a Wonder Woman TV movie before the series, which was awful.
Yeah.
The Spider-Man I grew up with was the Nicholas Hammond movies, which I saw at the cinema when I was a kid.
That's right. So the Wonder Woman series that he's talking about was some Miss USA or something edition. Didn't even have the right costume on. Terrible, I mean, it was absolutely atrocious, right? they panned it as a pilot, and then they made a second pilot, and that's when Linda Carter got the main actress role.
Oh, right.
Nicholas Hammond's Spider-Man, it was always a TV series. It was never a film. It was released as a film in Europe, where they joined 2 TV series episodes together to make a film, which is exactly what they did with The Incredible Hulk. And Cannon used to put The Incredible Hulk and Spider-Man together as a dual feature, so that you could see Spider-Man and the Hulk, which was so successful that Marvel UK brought out a weekly comic called the Spider-Man and Hulk Weekly, because it was Marvel's TV's sensations in one comic book. Believe it or not, this is how much I know. This is stuff that I know just off the top of my head, like that, because I lived that.
I do know one thing which surprises me, is that Wonder Woman, the TV series, the actress from EastEnders got that.
That was in the 2000s, though.
Yeah, and then she appeared in a Doctor Who special.
Yeah,
remember the one with the bus?
Right. Yeah.
But
that's what they called the one-off specials, where she was more a Tomb Raider, Lara Croft.
But I think they were hoping she might develop as a character, but she didn't.
Somebody else left EastEnders and turned into the Bionic Woman in the same 2000s.
Yeah,
when they tried to bring back the Bionic Woman.
Yeah. No, actually, that's the one I'm thinking of. I've got it wrong. Yeah, I've got it mixed up. I think it's the Bionic Woman I'm thinking of as the EastEnders.
Oh, they did try and bring back.
I think it was. Yeah, sorry, I think her name was Michelle Ryan.
Michelle Ryan.
She's the one that was in Doctor Who.
She was the Bionic Woman. She was the one in the Bionic Woman.
Yeah, that's the one.
I knew they did try and do a Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
I don't think it got further than a pilot.
No.
It was all over the internet.
I think Michelle Ryan was unlucky or something because there was a writer's strike.
Basically,
it effectively killed off.
I think they only did. I think they only did something like 8 or 10 episodes.
Yeah. Is saying back with Nolan. I think Dunkirk gets better and better with every watch. Oh, it's Jamie.
Tell that to a World War II soldier. I think. No, Dunkirk is a good film. You didn't get that joke, did you? You bastard! Right?
Yeah. So, yeah. Okay. I was very disappointed with Tenet. I need to rewatch it.
You have to rewatch it.
Yeah, you really do. Yeah. I think they should have kept the Expendables as a trilogy because the last one was awful. I've heard people say that, but I'll tell you something. I've not seen any of them, so I don't know. I can't really say anything about them.
I like the first 2. The third one was a step too far. The fourth one was atrocious.
Yeah, everybody said that about them. Yeah.
I think the third one has Mel Gibson in it.
Yeah. Jamie says, I'm getting a bit merry drinking mulberry gin while listening to you waffle on. Yeah. Mulberry gin.
How can he see the keyboard at 11:06 at night?
Yeah. Mulberry gin, eh?
What time did that comment come through?
That came in at 10:51.
I was going to say 11:06. He's still typing, so he ain't getting it's very fast, is he?
And then Jamie says all the Expendable films are terrible. Not
well, honestly, I have a soft spot for the first one because it's just entertaining nonsense.
Yeah,
it's like how many more explosions and bombs can I get in? And how come I'm leading a crack commando force? And they're all about 70 years of age. You know what I mean? I actually find them fun because of that. It's like, how old are you, Stallone? How old are you?
Yeah.
Even the others are like 50s.
Yeah.
Just going, you're mental.
And then we've got James saying, I watched the first two and decided to sell my box set without watching the third. So bad.
Yeah,
I understand that.
I
You might as
understand.
well not have them in collection.
The
if you don't
third one
like
with
it.
Mel Gibson, bloody hell.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
And Steve Moore says, there's loads of 80s action stars and they go and put Megan Fox and 50%. Oh, 50 Cent. Sorry, the
50%.
rapper thing.
50.
Only 50%, but 50 Cent is some rapper in the Expendables. Both can't act for shit. Well, that probably
that's not
explains it.
true.
He's a rapper of some sort. And I'm an old fogey, I think. Superman is about the character. The first film to this day is genius and will never be beaten.
It's the way a film should have been done. Richard Donner's first Superman film. It's incredible. But you have to. What I'm trying to say is, Superman came out of the 40s. It's at a time where they needed a hero that would defeat Hitler in a way. Without actually making it a propaganda character. And all I'm saying to you is, it's an unbelievable character. There's nothing that can kill him. He's bulletproof. He's laser proof. He's everything proof. He would be pandemic proof. You know what I mean? There is absolutely nothing. Only kryptonite.
Yep.
That's it. If Hitler got kryptonite, we're all doomed.
Well,
that's as complex as the story's got for about 20 years.
Yeah.
It was only in the 60s that things changed. And you got to remember there's comic books from 1941 to 61. Now, I can't tell you all the stories that came out between 41 and 61, but I tell you what, they must have been so boring because there was nothing there to kill him.
Yeah.
Nothing.
And then we've got, I thought the Harley Quinn film Birds of Prey was terrible. Ewan McGregor was so miscast as a villain. It's okay. That's the only one that is okay for me. I'm not saying it's brilliant.
I can't think of many Ewan McGregor films in the last 5 years that
has he made any good ones
that he's been in that have been particularly good. I mean, he did a lot of stuff, Train Spotting and all that, all brilliant. And I'll even put up.
They're all older films.
I'll even put up with the prequels to Star Wars as being okay in the Ewan McGregor mold. But then what I'm trying to say is that there's a lot of shit he's brought out.
Yeah, I'm afraid you're right. Yeah.
From my perspective, I mean, he did Train Spotting too, didn't he? The other year.
That didn't do very well, did it?
I don't think that did. That's a Boyle film that sort of didn't do well.
So
have you seen the film Sunshine? That's quite a good science.
Oh, Sunshine's good. Yeah, I like Sunshine. Yeah,
that's got Clooney in, hasn't it? I think.
Yeah. It's a good film, that, isn't it? Heading towards sun and story. I like the story. Steve Moses, I'm waiting for Sifu Seagull to make a comeback.
I don't like any Steven Seagal films.
Oh, is that right, Steven? I get it. Yeah.
I'm sorry, but I've never ever gotten on with a Steven Seagal film, not one.
I've never seen one.
Nonsense.
I've never seen one.
Nonsense films.
Yeah.
You know when you're going through the channels and you're going, right, there's Legend and there's all of this sort of stuff. They always have a Steven Seagal film on at 11 o'clock every night, 7 nights a week, right? And I look and I go, oh,
no,
Steven Seagal, and I go off. And I'm on to the next one. I go, I've got to wait an hour and a half till that shit goes off before I can look back again. That's how I look at it. Terrible.
Tony Hawk says, I rounded off my European film week with Crimen de Doble Filo, Double-Edged Crime, a Spanish thriller whodunit. eBay bootleg, great picture quality for an unofficial DVD seller, as hundreds titles from world cinema, Europe, and Japan mainly. Oh, well, that's good if you can get some ones that are difficult to get hold of.
I think that's
Yeah.
is it
All
Cremen de
with subtitles.
it's Cremen
Brilliant.
de Doble Fila.
Yeah.
Cremen de
Well, there you
Doble
are. You've got yeah. And you get subtitles, you can't beat that at all. The indestructible Gerard Butler, yeah. That's
Yeah,
the
that's what I was thinking of.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think Steven Seagal is too busy with Putin to make any new films. He hasn't done a film since 2019. Oh, is he a Putin supporter? I didn't know that. Does Seagal live in Russia now? Oh God, he's a nut already. I tell you, yes, mate. What a dick! Yeah, well, that's a word to describe him. What? Never knew that Putin's chief of security. Yes. Tony Hawk, he had all those accusations against him from women saying he touched them up. Oh. Talking about Gerard Butler, has anyone seen Greenland? It's a great thriller with an anxiety-riddled sequence involving the kidnapping of the main character's daughter. I've heard that name mentioned in the film Greenland, but that's all I know about it. Tony says, never knew that. Don't follow his career. Well, I didn't. Maybe Mr. Wallace will end up in the good old USSR. Yeah. Tony Hawk, the girl who played his niece in Under Siege 2 was one of them. Oh, right. Suspiria is fantastic. Hey, yes, I would throw Pan's Labyrinth. A lot of people talk about that.
I've got Pan's. I've got Pan's Labyrinth.
And Wreck, of course, into the equation of foreign films.
I've got Pan's Labyrinth. I bought that.
Yeah.
I bought that along with Donnie Darko, I think, at the same time.
Donnie Darko's good.
Oh, and the Bone Collector. I bought the Bone Collector. I remember when I buy big things in blocks, and I go, and somebody would have said, "Oh, and if you're going to buy that, you want to buy this," and I went, "Oh, okay," and I just went and I wrote 4 down, and I just ordered them and all of that sort of stuff. So I remember buying that. Yeah.
Donnie Darko gets a bit of stick, I think, in some places, but
it's modern day Harvey.
Yeah, I liked it.
Modern day horror version of Harvey. It's got a rabbit in it. It's got a rabbit in it. That's what I got to say.
Muckman Music, yes, I have. Plane and Last Seen Alive were 2 great Gerard Butler films. Yeah, I've seen him in that. I haven't actually seen the film. I've seen the poster a lot. That one called Plane, isn't it? Just simply Plane.
Yeah, I've seen Plane.
Good.
I think I've seen the poster for Plane.
Yeah. Mr. Seagal, you dirty old man, in Albert Steptoe voice. Yeah.
In the other Steptoe voice.
Steve.
Although it should be the other way round, you dirty old man. I'm the youngster amongst us too, so get me out. So you should be going,
Yeah. Tony Hawk, there's a guy on YouTube, Jason Brandt, who has a channel where he watches so bad they're good movies, where he takes the piss out of them. Oh, right.
It's such an old trick, because I used to watch a lot of stuff on YouTube where they used to do what they used to do on terrestrial TV, where they used to overdub old films with weird voices, that were totally they weren't even about the film. They used to turn around and do English sort of like, "Ooh, what are you talking about, young man?" Yeah. And it was, it was something from the 30s Betty Davis film or something.
A lot of YouTubers use material. This is how they get the views. If they want to build up a channel, they use these things, add a bit of their own content to it, and then put it out. So you can add voices and change it, and then you can get by any copyright things because you've changed it and all that. And they make the money out of that.
I think a lot of people get away with stuff anyway because they know that the YouTube only says as long as you do less than 10 seconds of continuous, then basically everything is free reign. You know,
the music is the problem, isn't it? Music.
You'll have no end. You'll have no end of people ripping stuff out of I don't know, Blazing Saddles or a Norman Wisdom film and just one particular line out of it that makes it funny. And I just find
you could possibly have 4 seconds
now. That's all.
4 seconds of a music, and that's it. Even maybe less than that, and that's it. You're done for otherwise.
I mean, I know this because I do my trailers.
Yeah,
and
of course.
And if a trailer has got a piece of music like
Bright Eyes,
Bright Eyes, that'd be it. I'd never be able to show the damn thing.
Yeah, that's right.
It's only in a trailer from 1970s film. Jesus Christ! I'm not even making money out of it. I'm actually showing what I've got.
I know. We're not even monetized.
I mean, in fact, actually, I'm heavily promoting people to go out and buy it. In fact, can I have some money, please? Because
I know you said you had a job finding a trailer without Bright Eyes in.
Yeah.
It was a hell of a job.
You try finding a trailer without Bright Eyes bloody playing in the background.
Right. See, I do watch your blog.
Yeah, you watch
Just before I go, it's funny I've said that. I always do this, and I'm probably too late because everybody's probably subscribed. But
you mean when
hasn't subscribed?
You mean when there's 4 people watching? Yeah.
There's 10 people at the moment. I'm sorry, mind you, we hadn't had a big audience this thing. So anybody, please go and subscribe. Who hasn't subscribed to Delboy's channel, please go over, subscribe. He's got a great channel. He's not much more than just the blog that he does on this Sunday, which is brilliant. Anyhow, fantastic blog. But he also does a lot of gaming. If you're into gaming, you'll love it all. And he does these film reviews and all sorts of stuff. I've put his description of where to contact the channel, of the link to the channel. Sorry, I put the link to the channel in the description. There you are. I have to get that in. I'm sorry, I'm a bit late.
Hang on a minute. Hang on. Thank you very much. And by the way, Ian, such a great, nice guy. And I'm a perpetual liar. I am actually going to prison for it. But anyway, look what Muckman says as the last comment of the evening.
Oh, cheeky monkey.
That's me. Thanks very much for promoting my channel. But according to Muckman, that's what he's doing. That's nice. See, this is what I get. This is what I get every week. 35 weeks I've had of this. I am a glutton for punishment. That's all I get, really, is shit thrown at me every minute of the day. Live my life. No one had a heart attack. Bastard. Right. I hope Santa fills your sack with shit.
There you are. Oh, yeah, yeah. Brilliant. Let's get on then. I've done my...
Yeah, I know. I've got to get my tablets yet before I go to bed.
Yeah, I know. We'll be here till, I don't know. The only Seagull movies I have on DVD are Double Bill of, I think, is earliest to bought because of the off-mentioned Miss Greer appears in one. Oh, well, yeah. But I don't know even whether I'd buy one of his films, even if she's in it. But 50%. Has Ian been drinking gin too? Oh, thank you. Yeah. My favorite cigar film is Marked for Death. Yeah. Right. Uh, Red Seagull's Wikipedia page, it lists all the accusations that were made against him. He was unknown for hurting stuntmen as
He was
well.
known. He was
Kane,
known for
yeah,
hurting.
sorry, was known. Sorry,
Stuntmen.
was known for hurting stuntmen as well. Kane Hodder calls him a piece of shit. Well, that's quite some accusation.
Yeah.
Kane Hodder's
I mean,
very well respected.
I don't want to take anybody's career away, but what I'm trying to get at is I just didn't like his films.
No, there's something about him though. I think it doesn't surprise me at all about anything about him. I don't know. I just didn't. I've heard him talking and being interviewed, and I don't like him. I just
Yeah.
don't like him. Some a
I mean,
vibe.
I do know that he was not liked on set, but I don't
Yeah,
know.
I can tell you why. He's got a very high opinion of himself.
I think he
think.
was always saying that he was like he had women at his beck and call.
Yeah.
He could have any woman that he wanted through
Oh,
the 90s and all of this
it's
sort of stuff.
horrible. Yeah.
I just didn't find him a
Yeah.
very delectable type of character at all.
Yeah. Yeah. Wait for the Spanish film title to be read out. Oh, thank you. I really like the Bad Movie Bible channel on YouTube. He's very dry and funny.
I haven't come across him.
The Patriot is Seagull's worst film. Has he got it? He hits one guy. That's it, and the film sucks. Yeah. Puts in a lot of legwork researching terrible movies. Oh,
That's the bad movie. That's the Bad Movie Bible. Yeah.
Del, did you check out Chuck Steele trailer? Seriously, everyone should go out and buy that stop motion animated action film.
I did after last week, and we had our chat, me, and I did actually check it out. It's like Team America type. It's like clay motion thing. Something about the vampires or something. It was Chuck Steele versus the yeah, it looked really funny. I think Jennifer Saunders was one of the voices.
Oh, really?
I recognized in the trailer.
Yeah.
I don't know how far back it is. Is it about 7 or 8 years old? 7 or 8 years ago? I don't know. I'm unsure, but it was quite. I found it quite funny, the trailer. Yeah.
Tell you what, no more foreign film titles, Ian. Promise. It's all right. You can put them there. Who's that seller, Tony? I'll take a look. All right. Yeah.
Isn't that the follow-up to Who's That Girl? Who's that seller?
Oh. I bet Seagal's last film was a Ukraine war propaganda film to attract new recruits. Yeah.
They didn't do a bloody good job, did they?
They didn't, did they? Seymour says Jason Brandt helped the film The Last Cumite to get made with Matthias Hughes, the bad guy from Dark Angels. Oh, Dolph Lundgren. Yeah. And Jamie, type in Double Edge Crime 1965. Should be only exact entry for that title. Obviously, all titles are £4. Everyone I have had a good quality picture and sound. Is that eBay seller? I don't know. I know you mentioned one earlier. That he does his own DVD transfers, I think. Cheers. I'll take a gander. Do they come with a case and cover, or is it just a disc? I know that's what you don't.
Oh, right. That.
Yeah. I'm unsubscribing. There you are. Thank you, Jamie.
Yeah, to be quite honest, I didn't know it subscribe.
It's when I do the Delboy.
I didn't know it subscribed. That's how much I know.
Jamie, printed picture DVD disc. No, yeah, I've got one of them that I sent off mistakenly. It came back, and I was going, "Where's the thing?" They must make their own. No case or sleeve in a plastic wallet. Yeah, mine was. Yeah, I just keep them. Those multi-capacity cases, old 11 in each case. Yeah, there is. They don't tell you that they're not sending you in a case. They just put a plastic wallet in. Yeah, laughing there. And also there. David Gps. Hi Del, are you a fan of VR games on PlayStation?
I've got a VR headset for my PlayStation down there, but I haven't got a VR 2, which is the new one for the PlayStation 5. But most of my VR stuff is MetaQuest. This is a MetaQuest headset. This is a MetaQuest 3. So I do VR gaming, but the reason I do most things in VR is because I want to watch my 3D films. So I can watch all my 3D films with that headset on without having to wear glasses and have a 3D TV. So I watch all my 3D films that way. That is the answer, Ian. You can move forward.
Yeah. No,
you see how interested he is. No,
do you know what I was going to say? But I was nearly promoting your blog again because you were mentioning about it on your blog.
Did I really? VR? I didn't.
No,
I don't
your VR set.
I have to turn around and say, if you want to watch 3D now, VR's the way.
Yeah,
VR is the way.
Yeah, but I know it has come up on your blog a few times, hasn't it? About this.
Yeah. A lot of things have come up.
Yeah, I'm trying to promote your blog here.
Yeah, it will be the first time ever. Go
on. Seagal comes across as a right arrogant bar steward. Yeah, bar steward. I wonder if Delboy has bought the Spectrum yet, says Stephen.
No, and I mean, actually, I've mentioned it many times in my blog as well. I only had a Sinclair Spectrum for around about 6 months, less than a year, back in 1982. I was mostly a Commodore man. I had a Commodore 64, a Commodore VIC 20. I even played and programmed at school on a Commodore PET. So this is the 70s and early 80s. The Spectrum is a fantastic machine, but I tend to find that you need to have a nostalgic point of view to want to have something like a new Spectrum now. I can play Spectrum on something called a Mister. Look it up, put a Google in, just type in Mister, and you will see that I can play all my Spectrum stuff in what they call FPGA, right? It's field programmable gate array. In other words, it's as close to the hardware in 1982 as you can get without being emulation. So no, it's 90 quid. It's out now for all those people that are remotely interested in a Spectrum. I believe it's fantastic. From my point of view, I don't quite have the nostalgic bent for me to buy it. Next.
All right. Jamie says 6-year-old Del.
6 years ago.
Chuck Steele. It also has Paul Whitehouse voicing in it. All right.
I wasn't far off. I said, is it like 2080s or whatever?
Yeah. Battle Beyond the Stars, also known as Seven Samurai in Space.
Well, it is, or the Magnificent Seven, being as it's Seven Samurai is based is the prequel to Magnificent Seven. Battle Beyond the Stars has got a score by James Horner. Battle Beyond the Stars is one of my favorite steel books. It's gorgeous. And it's just amazing, really, because you got George Peppard in Battle Beyond the Stars, but it's also got, if I remember rightly, the same actor that's in The Magnificent Seven. You know the one. You know who I'm talking about, Robert Vaughn.
Yeah.
So
Man from Uncle.
Seven has got Robert Vaughn. Battle Beyond the Stars has got has got the same actor in it. I'm pretty sure that's the tie-in.
Yeah, right.
I think Robert Vaughn is in it. Yeah.
Go
on.
I think some of Bronson's 80s films will be Golan.
Yeah, they are.
Globus canon releases. Oh, Death Wish 2, controversial with all the cuts in that. David GPS, Dell, the Star Trek VR game is great.
Is that the Bridge Commander game? Bridge Commander, because I've got Bridge Commander.
Dell, did you ever play the game Rockstar Ain't My Hamster?
I did, and I played School Days, and I played a number of other games on the Spectrum.
That's the
Rockstar Ain't My Hamster was quite funny, yes.
Yeah. Ozzy Osbourne Sun headline, wasn't it? Lou Reed's Metal Machine album sounds like a Spectrum. All right. Is it? Steven Seagal's last film was called Beyond the Law, starring the rapper DMX. Not so long after DMX passed away. Oh dear. I don't know much about that kind of rap stuff, but yeah. Loved Sybil Danning, yes. No, there she is. She's in Battle Beyond the Stars. Loved her in Howling 2. So did I. It's a terrible film, but you can't help but love her in the film with Christopher Lee there. Yeah. And Del, what's your favorite 3D movie?
Do you know that's so difficult? Because I love House of Wax. You know, one of the first 3D films I ever saw. But I've watched so many 3D films that came out in the 2000s that it's hard to say what's your favorite 3D movie. I could just wax lyrical, couldn't I, and just say Avatar. Muckman's just come up. Gravity is a fantastic 3D movie. Yeah, Gravity is fantastic. That really is good. I like the IMAX 3D stuff as well. You know that I've got a lot of 3D stuff that's things like like the space station and dinosaurs and all of this sort of stuff. You know that are sort of like documentaries in 3D. They're good. I'm not saying Penthouse Swimsuit Edition in VR is any good. I know I'm not talking 3D knockers in your face. You know, we'll get taken off the air. So yeah. Benny Hill in 3D, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Right. And then we've got Muckman saying Gravity is my favorite 3D movie, which you've just talked about. And that is the last comment. Yes. Thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight. And thank you, Delboy. Been great again having you on here. And we'll be back again next week. And that's it, really. Thank you, everybody that's contributed just by watching or making comments. Where's some more comments here? There were some 3D glasses in Flesh and Blood Show, Pete Walker Horror, all those new film releases, that lovely box set. Good night, chaps. It's been a pleasure as usual. Thank you, Jamie, as always, joining us. Thank you. Guys, what's your favorite Christmas movie?
Just quickly, very, very quickly for me, Scrooge with Bill Murray or Christmas Vacation. I like that.
No. An actual Christmas
film. Hang on. But my favorite one is It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah. If it's a proper Christmas film, then Santa Claus the movie I like a lot,
That's
and
because you're in it.
and I'm in it apparently, and I like Home Alone a lot, but I still
That's not a
maintain.
Christmas movie.
Yeah, you know what I'm going to say? I'll say it even.
Die
Chitty
Hard. Here
Chitty
we go.
Bang Bang is still the best Christmas movie that ain't a
Oh,
Christmas
that's
movie.
not a Christmas movie
Yeah,
either.
it's still the best. Right, and Tony says good night, all. Thanks, and Seymour says good night, all. And oh, here we go. Die Hard or
Die
Gremlins?
Hard. Here we go.
Oh,
Look, yeah.
Die Hard then.
Because Die Hard's a Christmas movie,
Yeah,
isn't it?
but
Yeah.
Gremlins, I love Gremlins, and that's it. Thank you, everybody. So, Delboy, you want to say goodbye?
And it's good. It's good night from me, and it's
Good night from him.
now we'll do the proper one. Salute, everyone. Thanks very much, everybody.
And all I've got to say is, I'll see thee again. And we're off.